Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nintendo Power Block here on Boss Rush Network. I'm your host, the enlightened, excited Eddie V. Joining me is Bossman himself, the one, the only, Mr. Corey Derrick.
Hello, Ed. How are you?
I am doing great. Boss, our new season has started.
I think you like the word season. I just think it's episode 301.
I mean, yes, it is episode 301, but I think after our milestone episode and we starting with, kind of like the first episode after 300, I always feel like it's a new season. I always feel like when there's changes that's coming and, summer has started, well, summer has already started, but, we're getting back into the groove of things. I kind of feel like it's a new season. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Also, like, this is kind of our first episode with the new kind of reworked format a little bit that I think we're gonna like, and it's you and me, pal.
Yes,
it's you and me.
We got the new background, we got the new music.
Oh yeah, the new music. I forgot.
Yes,
you do have that. Also, Ed, I've been putting, so there were over like 120 episodes missing from the podcast feed for some reason. So anybody listening to this episode when it goes live on the podcast feeds, I'm sorry if you've heard old episodes recently, because I don't know how they pop up on podcast feeds.
Yes.
Outside of iTunes, which they don't. But apologies if, like 30 episodes popped up on your feed this past weekend, because I'm trying to get all the podcast episodes up on there and trying to archive a bunch of stuff that we've done over the years, because other than YouTube, on all the channels that we've ever had, Ed, I've never saved anything. So,
oh no.
So I'm in the process of doing that for everything, even pre stuff. So Ed's being FaceTimed live on the air right now. Do we need to pause, Ed?
No, keep going.
Great. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, Ed. That was a fun little project I decided to take on, because it has to be done, long weekend. Also, if you're watching the video version, I'm sure you may or may not see the mess behind me. I am also reorganizing and curating and seeing what I can get rid of. And it's been quite the project today as well. So that's my project this week, is to eliminate, curate, reorganize, and all that stuff. So...
yeah, I have some other projects that I need to start on to
also,
definitely. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, also, I still have COVID, so that's been fun.
Oh no.
Tested positive yesterday, like super positive. Like the positive line showed up before the control line, which I didn't even know that was possible. And I have to have 2 negative tests before I go back to work. And I have to work from home on Friday anyway, because there's some things I have to take care of while my wife is gone, and so another week from working at home.
Well, Corey, if it makes you happy, I'll be off this weekend. So if you have free time and able to record something, hi.
Well, we do need to record. Well, we already have planned the Ninja Turtles standard def episodes.
Yes.
And then I'm recording Marvel stuff on Sunday, and we need to record some expansion pass episodes. So,
yeah, we're going to be
somewhere in there, bees. I guess.
We're going to be some busy bees.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
Yep, it's fine though. It's all good though. It's worth it. We have a lot of good topics. I think what we need to do, Ed. We need to reassess Nintendo's second half of 2022.
Ooh,
that's what we need to do. Pending any sort of surprise direct this week.
or this month, let's say.
Look, I've recorded more direct recap shows in the last 2 weeks than I have in probably the last 6 months. Okay, so I'm okay with it, but still. Ugh.
Yes. Well, I guess we don't have to get into our weekend updates or anything or our pre-show banner because literally, dude, just besides us working and getting things together, and talking about the future of Nintendo Power Block, we kind of I think both of us kind of had a chill weekend in a sense. I definitely just been working.
Yeah, I've been home all week and all weekend.
You
My
know.
wife and kids went swimming today, and I've been isolated, so that's neat.
Oh, okay. Apparently, there was a incident that happened about 30 minutes from me. I am safe, everybody. They caught the person. Uh, they caught the person about the incident. Um, and I kind of want to thank you, Corey, for just checking on me. You know, and I was at home, everybody. Like I said, I didn't really go out anywhere or anything, so I am safe. But the incident that happened was just like really unexpected, and I never thought that it would happen in area that's like 30 minutes from me, or it's just it's weird when something like this happen. And you guys can check the news all about it. I don't want to bring it up or anything. Um,
It's just
because
it's just
like
great. It's just crazy that two like completely different incidents happened within, a 15 or 20-minute drive of each of us this week. You know,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like I like I don't want to talk too much about it because I want this to be a distraction from these things that
Hmm.
happen, but we need to talk about things, right? Like it's just I I don't understand. I don't remember these things happening when I was younger or when we were younger. Like I don't remember
Same.
this like okay, maybe one or two things here and there, but like nothing that's like every week it's something new. It's something ridiculous. And it's like when is it going to stop?
I don't know. Like
Like why does everybody need their 20 minutes of negative fame? Like why?
I have not one idea. I really it's we talked about this on Pop like a while back, and I just don't understand w- what is the purpose. What is I don't know. I'm literally just at a loss of words. Um, they I don't the I gotta wait till the list of the victims all come out because it may be in some people that I used to help when I um was working at this grocery store in the city back in 2010. Um, I probably when I see if I see the pictures of the people, I probably know who they are. Um, but I really don't know. I'm literally at a loss where it's one of those things that I said I never thought it would happen in my area, and definitely for you with what happened in yours. It's just like this. That something has to be done.
Mhm. It does.
You
It's
know, and
it's sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I
okay,
just
no. Something just has to be done, and right now, this is. I'm not saying it's a laughing matter. Like this has been serious, and it continues to get serious, and so it's. I didn't even get to tell you this, Corey. And then I'll let you say what you say, then we'll move on to the next section. Um, because of this incident, there is a particular governor running for Illinois. Um, and he actually did a video and said that, doing the Dawson Prayer stuff. And he literally said in his video, let's move on and have a parade.
wow.
This was literally probably a little while back, right after this incident happened. And it's just like, why would you say that? And why would you say that because of this incident? Like, it really just showcased how much you don't care.
Right. That's
You know,
wow. That's
and it's not our current governor or anything. This is someone who's running for governor
mhm.
for Illinois, and it's just like I can't believe you would say something like that, be that insensitive, and put a video out there. You want to move on from a shooting that killed 6 people, so you could celebrate.
Yeah, that's
Crazy.
man. Read the room, dude. Like, read the room. You know, I mean, I don't. I mean, to be honest, you should feel a certain way when something like this happens. But even if you don't feel that way, read the room, especially if you're
Hmm.
trying to get votes or something. Oh my gosh, that's so stupid.
Right. A city is in mourning, and all the other cities around it is mourning for the people.
Jeez, that's so
Yeah.
so
Um.
backwards, man.
Just Corey, any last words, or would you like
No,
to?
eh,
Uh,
just everybody. I
I
don't want
I
to.
look,
I don't want to say like, you know, I don't want to have to like say something like this, but like if you're out with your family or friends or whatever, just be careful. You know,
yeah.
we live in a not to sound like a stupid, you know, government person, but like we live in unprecedented times. We live in crazy times. We live in unnecessarily ugly times,
Hmm.
and just be aware, be mindful, be careful. You know, and I after what happened here, I texted you and I texted Laron, and I'm just like, guys, just be careful. Like I worry about you guys every day. You know, I mean, I know Laron works from home, so him not so much, but I know you work late nights, you work early mornings,
Hmm.
just I don't know, just everybody out there, be careful. It's ugly,
Yeah.
you know.
So, uh, but
I
the
guess.
partner. Oh,
Oh, I was just gonna say. I guess we should
okay.
probably move on. But before we do it, we did it. Stephanie was kind enough to sit in on a direct recap show with me last week. I know you were super busy, so we kind of got one out of the way.
Hmm.
I mean, I just wanted to know what you thought of the partner direct.
So I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know people was giving it B's. It's just like, it's okay. I actually gave it, a A, and it's not because of Nintendo. I think definitely with a lot of the games, like Blanc is definitely a highlight that's on my list.
That was the black
Um,
and white one with the dog, right?
yeah,
Or the
and
wolf
I
or
was just
something.
like, the way that I seen it, I was thinking of you, Corey, and I was just thinking, I know when we see this, we're coming from our art perspective. Like, this is beautiful, just in emotion, um, with it. Uh, that literally got on my list. I've never played the Mega Man releases, the Battle Network one, and I think that one was rumored at first, or we've been
It's been
discussing
rumored.
about it.
It's been rumored for a while, I think, and then I think they released that Zero collection because this
Uh,
collection either wasn't ready or something. Something was going on with this collection, so they released that Zero collection last year.
yes. You were right about the Persona game, so I'm definitely gonna be probably double dipping. uh, I,
Surprise!
what? I didn't expect it to be in this direct. I expected it to be in a different direct and it coming out later. Because I thought that Microsoft would actually have the exclusive for a while, and then following Nintendo would get it because it was just weird that it came out. It's coming around that time that the Xbox version come out because people were just like, yeah, we want the game. We're going to pay the money to get the physical
well,
for it.
I mean, the thing is like Xbox has that beat to where like it's coming to Game Pass, right?
Yes.
That's their whole push, right? I mean, that's going to be their push forever, until Xbox doesn't exist or until they decide Game Pass isn't worth it or they shut the Xbox program down. I don't know. Like that's just going to be their push with third-party games. If they get a major one, right? Like I mean, look at Outriders, right? Like that game got a huge boost because it came to Game Pass. And
yeah,
for better or for worse, like that game had a ton of players, but also People Can Fly never didn't even break even on the game because nobody bought it because they all played it on Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I mean that's the risk you're gonna have to take, and by the way, I've been playing Outriders, and we'll get to that with Playing with Power. But oh my gosh, that game is so good. Everybody should play Outriders. It's $14 on Amazon if you need a physical copy.
When you told me that, dude, I was just like, and I spent $60 getting this game, but I bought it because it was like I think a week after it came out.
Mm-hmm.
I went and bought it, so it was a new release. So
yeah,
no.
And we'll get to that with Playing with Power, but like that's Xbox. That's going to be Xbox's whole thing with these major third-party games and their first-party games and these major indie titles, right? Like that was their big push with Ninja Turtles, right? Day one with Game Pass. Play it with your Game Pass subscription. That's awesome. I still bought it on Switch.
Yeah.
And
of course.
Also, by the way, nope, I'm going to save it for Playing with Power.
Okay.
No, I'm not. The Super Nintendo controller works with Ninja Turtles.
Hold on, wait. For
Shredder's Revenge.
Nice.
So I've been playing it with that, and it's oh my gosh. We'll talk about it later. But oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But back to like Persona and stuff. Like, of course, people are gonna want the physical copy of those games.
Which I think I don't know if you. I kind of want to. I don't know if I want to do the expansion pass, but we might have to. I know we talked about Square getting setting off their like Western division and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking to myself because I was thinking about Harvestella, which I'll probably end up getting. And of course, there Automata is I'm getting for Switch.
So much.
That was a big surprise.
It's only $40 too. Did you see that? The physical edition is only $40, which is awesome.
And I got to get my pre-order in for that. I want to kind of, I don't know if we'll do this expansion pass, but I was thinking to myself when I was on my walk, I was just like, Square Enix really want to get back to their old self. And they want to get back to being that Eastern company and focusing a lot on JRPGs. Because I know that that's their bread and butter, but it feels like they got about 10 or 12 RPGs that's in the pipeline.
Mm-hmm. First and third party.
Yeah. Minecraft Legends, not really feeling it. The Doraemon Story of Seasons, I kind of was weirded out by that. Because I was like shocked. I was just like, oh, Doraemon's coming to America, but they was just like, no, there's a first one that was here. This is the second game, and I was just like, man, Doraemon is a big popular mascot in Japan, so I didn't know that he had a game already out here in America. Sonic Frontiers looks really good. I am going to get that.
Well, I think now that they've shown more than just like, I think they've shown more in that direct than they showed the two previous trailers. Right? They actually showed zones and they actually showed gameplay.
Yes. Little Nova I did buy. I'll talk a little bit about that and Playing with Power. I think I'm gonna get Railgrade because I love railroads. Everybody knows I love trains and everything. So this might be a sim game that I might jump into. The RPG Time, The Legend of Wright. It looks like one of the games that we seen at Xbox presentation a couple of years ago. It was like from their Inside Xbox like indie thing. I got to go back through their E3 because I remember seeing it at an E3 a while back. I'm like, wasn't this game on Xbox? It really looks like that. Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. That's a yes. Like, I want to say this. I didn't have. I'm not saying I didn't have interest in Return to Monkey Island, but with everything that has gone down with that, I'm definitely going to buy this game. I'm definitely going to show the support. What that man got from people, from the so-called fans,
Mm-hmm.
their opinions and stuff, that was just disgusting.
Mm.
And I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to get this game, and I like the art style. You know, I have no problem with the art style or anything. Um,
Yeah, I
I
mean
did.
it was fine. Like I don't really care for those kinds of games. Not that they're bad games. I just don't
Mhm.
care for those types of games. But like I didn't mind the art style. They're going for something unique. And good on them.
Yes. A Plague Tale Requiem. I'm not getting it for Switch. If I do, I would
Switch
say
is
this:
barely
if they
getting it for Switch.
You're right. I mean, if I'll wait for the reviews for it, but if they do like a cheap bundle, like if they do one like a bundle for like 24.99, I'll probably pick it up. But I already plan on getting this on Xbox because I got the original on Xbox. Um, and I kind of prefer it to be on, not saying on something that it'll actually run on,
Yes, you
uh,
are.
but I have the first
Go
one
ahead, say it,
on.
Ed. It's okay.
I have the
You're
first
allowed to
one
say
on
something is
Xbox.
better on Xbox than on Switch. You're allowed.
I have it on Xbox, and I'm going to get the second one on Xbox, so I can have that completion.
It's okay, Ed. It's okay.
um, the Captain Velvet meteor that did nothing for me. But I was interested in seeing what it was about and everything. Dragon Quest Treasures. Uh, I guess that's fine. I guess I just wanted to know more of actually Dragon Quest 12. But that might be in a actual direct. The Disney Dreamlight Valley, I have not one idea. I was just like, huh? Mirror? So, uh, but overall, there's a lot. Like I said, Lorelli and the Laser Eyes, I do want. I like that art style, and I got my son the Sunbreak, which I'll be playing this weekend. Uh, but overall, I really enjoyed this direct showing us the games that is coming, for the fall and winter. And a little bit for some of them next year. I know Sea of Stars got delayed, but I have a feeling we'll probably see more of that in the indie direct in the coming year and everything. Um, the Hollow Knight one, Silk Song, I wasn't expecting to see it in here, and I think it's because of them showing it in Xbox. I have a feeling that that game is not a console exclusive release kind of thing, like a launch. Like it's not going to release on Switch first and then come to Xbox. I think it's going to be a game that's going to come everywhere, like PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo. For that to be shown at Xbox showcase, I think Nintendo was kind of fine to be like, we know that because of the delays and stuff, and maybe the contracts probably expiring. Uh, it's fine if you guys show it wherever you guys want to show it and stuff. And the Portal collection I still need to get. The Persona games, I am going to get Persona 5 Royal, but I do want to get Persona 3 Portable because I want to see if it's the Fez version,
It's not.
and
They've already
it's the
confirmed it's not the Fez version. It's the version they altered for PSP.
okay, because I
It's
didn't know.
they confirmed it is not Fez.
Okay, so because I was wondering, is it the original Persona 3?
No, it's
Um,
some weird like the gameplay is there, but it's a little bit different, and all of the cutscenes have been kind of turned into visual novel style cutscenes.
also, it's not anime.
So
Wow.
yeah, so that was like the big thing about this version. Everybody was mad that it wasn't an up like a ported version of Fez. But if you have a PlayStation 5 or a PlayStation 4, the Fez version is native to those consoles for through the PS2 classics. So if you want to look on your PS4 or PS5, the Fez version is there, and it supports widescreen. But yeah, this whatever version this is, people say this is like the worst version to play of 3. If you have another version of 3 that you can play that.
Yeah, I still have the original one for PS2, and I beat it on PS2. I just thought this was like the Fez version. But and then Persona 4 Golden, I think I have Persona 4 on my PS4. But I don't have Golden. They said Golden is the better one, so I am interested in playing
the
this.
Persona 4 never came to any console other than PS2. So unless you have the PS2 version on your PS4.
Well, that's why I said I have Persona 4. I don't have Golden.
Okay.
I thought they had it on PS4.
They have the PS2 version of 4 is on PS4.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But not Golden.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. And dude, what is with just October?
I know.
It's
October
stacked.
is so stacked. It's like that. Remember that one September when like The Witcher and Link's Awakening and Dragon Quest and
Yeah, 2019.
yeah, like that's what this October reminds me of, because it's like what? It's Nier, it's Persona 5, it's Mario Rabbids. Supposedly there's a Metroid Prime remake or remaster slated for sometime in October or November. Like, what is happening?
Is that
Ugh. No wonder nothing's coming out in October.
I you know what? Now I was thinking about it, and I don't know if I messaged you, Corey, but I was just like, well, Corey is right. I think Bayonetta 3 is in December now, because Mario and Rabbids.
Oh, they're not going to put it in October. They're going to get destroyed.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I was thinking, because we didn't have no confirmation for October. I literally thinking Bayonetta 3 was hitting October. But once they said all of these games and then Mario and Rabbids jumping in October, yeah, Bayonetta has to be December. Like, there's no way that you're gonna put it in November when there's Pokemon. No way you're gonna put it in September when there's Splatoon. We really don't have anything for August, and you guys really haven't been talking or anything. So you got to show something in the direct.
Yeah.
So yes, we still have Advance Wars, but I'm just like, right now, December is the only time that Nintendo really don't have anything. Now, if they want to drop Bayonetta 3 and Advance Wars in December,
I think
Bayonetta
is getting pushed to January. I'm sorry, everybody. I know everybody's looking forward to Bayonetta 3, but I think they're going to want to have a killer Q1 next year. Zelda's going to be March. Bayonetta's going to be January. And maybe Advance Wars in February. That's my guess. That's a complete guess. That's my guess.
You think they would pass up on any releases for December?
I mean, let's say this Metroid Prime remake is real, and Tom Henderson and Jeff Grubb both said November. I don't think they need a December game. I mean, they have Pokemon and Metroid to close out their year. They don't need a December game. Then they'll do like a Game Awards kind of big blowout for Zelda maybe, or Bayonetta 3 or something, right? Like I just don't think they need a December game. They don't always need a December game.
Because right now, the Callisto Protocol is the big game for December,
and that's fine. And I think enough people are looking forward to that.
Yes,
Nintendo doesn't need something in December. They have enough. Slow down. We went from having like a lot to too much in the matter in the span of like a week.
That is true.
Slow down, guys. Just
let PlayStation
relax.
And Xbox have something.
Just relax. And Switch does have a game in December. They're publishing Dragon Quest Treasures, and it comes out December 9th. So, that's their December game. There you go, Ed. Really.
Why why do I have a feeling that you are completely right now? Because I can't have, dude, the anticipation of having Bayonetta in Q1 started in dude,
Can,
that
can
would.
can I just say, after uploading all these old episodes, by the way, Andre's in the chat. He says, "Don't give me hope." Oh my gosh. So I've uploaded about 30, or about, I would say about 30 episodes of old episodes. Ed, you know how many descriptions say Ed was wrong? I think at least two in the first 30 episodes. So, uh,
but dude, just think of that. That would be literally crazy. Well, because if they still push Breath of the Wild 2 for March, kind of making it almost like an anniversary thing. Okay,
mhm.
fine. But I'm like, man, you go from, do you put Bayonetta 3 in January and then Advance Wars in February, or would
Mhm.
you switch? I'm like, what
No,
would you
because
think?
February is already going to be packed for the other consoles, right? Because
Yes.
Redfall and Starfield are coming out for Xbox. PlayStation probably has something. I mean, they say God of War is on track for this year, but I bet it gets pushed to January, or about February or March.
I don't think they get ready at all.
And then I think Advance Wars is just different enough for people to like buy a quote unquote AAA game,
Mm-hmm.
and then this. I think it's just different enough.
Because I think Advance Wars would be a nice gap filled AAA
Yeah.
game.
And I think
You
I
know.
think January, what? We have Resident Evil 4 remake in January.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the people who have Switches and aren't into horror games are going to be looking for something maybe to spend their Christmas money on, or Hanukkah money, or whatever holiday you celebrate in December. And January is going to have something like Bayonetta waiting for them, and
Yeah. Because I think you want to start out. You want a strong presence. You don't want to start out strong, but you want a strong presence. And I
yeah.
think that would. I just.
Well, I think Bayonetta is a good prepping game, a year prep game
Yeah.
for Nintendo. I really do.
Yeah.
So,
Because if we don't have anything for January, and Bayonetta could be that game for January, that's great. Definitely for Resident Evil 4 for PlayStation and Xbox, like that'd be good for them. Literally, I like you said, Christmas money or whatever, holiday money or whatever. I think people looking to start off the year right with something kind of fresh and new. Those
mhm,
games would be it. They have time to be marketed. They don't have to like really compete with each other.
mhm,
They feel more complementary than competing games in
mhm.
a sense.
Yeah.
Um, and if we're gonna have to stack holiday on Switch, then yeah, go ahead and push it.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
unless we see Fire Emblem Pirates, and then
Yeah,
we just
don't
all just
let's just not talk about it right now, cuz I almost brought it up and then we were going to go on another tangent and we've already spent like 15 minutes talking about this. So,
I know. So, but that is my dude. Wait till we have that discussion when that game gets announced. I- but yeah, that's going to be my thoughts. I thought it was a great direct. I gave it an A.
yeah, I mean, I thought it was great. I thought, there weren't any big surprises, but everything that there was like 4 or 5 things there that I'm going to play and buy instantly, so.
And Square Enix is getting the elbow because everybody's just like, how in the heck you gonna put a big game like Near Automata on cartridge and not Kingdom
I
Hearts?
know that, dude, those memes came out right away. They said guess which one fits on Switch and which one doesn't, and it was like the PS2 version of Kingdom Hearts 1 next to Near Automata. So, I mean, yeah.
I want that's gonna be an expansion pass. Will Square rethink about that
I
and
think I
actually
think
put
they're going to reconsider. But
yeah. Uh, but
anyways,
Corey, McCray, we got some housekeeping.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so go ahead.
It's not like the normal housekeeping we used to do. Like this is the way we're gonna do housekeeping moving forward. Is if we have anything to like announce or upcoming episodes or events or whatever, just to keep people informed on what's happening. So the first note in housekeeping is our ranking Nintendo and Sega episodes of Standard Definition, our retro nostalgia podcast here on the Boss Rush Network. If you haven't subscribed, check it out. It's a different group of people tackle a different subject like Disney animation or MCU rewatch, we did a whole Indiana Jones series. Ed, Stephanie, and I are doing Ranking Nintendo. All the Ranking Nintendo and Sega episodes are going to show up on this feed starting this Friday, I think, and just go every other Friday, just to kind of get ears and eyes on that show. It's one of our newer shows, and it's definitely been inconsistent, I would say, in terms of listens. So just to get people kind of used to what that show is, we're going to drop the Nintendo episodes here on Nintendo Power Block. So far, we've covered NES through GBA, are scheduled. So check those out when they pop up. Our Ed and I's Sega Genesis episode will also be appearing at some point on that feed too.
Oh, I cannot wait for that, that episode.
Yeah. Also, spoiler casts are in the works. I know people have been wanting us to do those at some point. We're going to try to get some spoiler casts out. They may not be timely or, kind of the latest and greatest games, but we are going to do Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes and Death's Door. I think are going to be the first ones out the door. Hopefully we can do that time permitting, and we can get a third person involved. It's because I know Stephanie is also playing Death's Door. I think that would be a good kind of 3-person episode.
Yeah, and Pat is interested in the Fire Emblem Warriors one.
Yeah, great.
So
yeah, Pat from EXP Cast. So so we'll probably do those within the coming weeks at some point. Again, schedules and time permitting, but that's the goal. Also, head to the Boss Rush Network store. Check out our merch. We have shirts, hoodies, stickers, and more for all the shows, including the Power Block 300 merch, which will be up on the store for another couple weeks. So if you just got around to listening to it, or you want to show your support for Nintendo Power Block, please get a episode 300 sticker or shirt or something. In the next month or so, I think we're going to be switching storefronts. So just I'll make an announcement on Twitter or Facebook or whatever other thing we use to promote stuff. So just look out for that. Go to bossrush.net and click on the store icon in the menu. It'll take you right to our store page, or go to redbubble.com and search for Boss Rush Games. I can't change it to Boss Rush Network, so it's just Boss Rush Games. Check that out. Lastly, if you're listening on iTunes or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star rating or review. It would really help us out. Also, if you're watching on YouTube, leave us a thumbs up on the video and subscribe. It helps people discover the show. It helps people, find it in the algorithm. So
yes,
yeah, we really want to start growing our shows more. So if you could do that, that would be highly appreciated. We'd really appreciate it. So yeah, that's all I got, Ed, for housekeeping. So back to you.
Yes,
I guess
as
you're
you know,
on this side on the video.
Remember how we used to do that in the intro? You'd be like over here, and it's just like, where am I at? Or sometimes, no, when we used to do AX, and I would point your way and call you Jesse.
Yeah, because you were in the middle, and the way it used to be set up is like Jesse and I would be on either side, and you would point to Jesse. And, I mean, but you didn't know, because like in the Skype call, we're all just dumb squares and like, whatever. Also, remember when we used to do the show in Google Hangouts and it was just one of us talking?
Oh, yeah.
and the audio was terrible.
Google Hangouts.
Also, by the way, if you go back and listen to the first kind of proper episode that when Ed and I kind of rebooted Pow Block, like the audio kind of sounds like this, and they're talking like that. No, gross. Sorry, I just did that in everybody's ear, but that was gross.
My eye looked very yellowish because of my room, and the quality in production has kind of increased. I should say.
Well, yeah, we'll say it has increased quite a bit. Shout out to Shane, by the way. He's in the chat. He says, "Happy 4th of July, you happy Uncle Sam's." That's us.
Happy 4th of July. Shane, I'm glad that you was able to go to your friend's cabin and hang out. The food that you showed us looks amazing. Yes.
Is that in the Discord? I haven't been in the Discord today.
I haven't, but he posted something on his Twitter page. So,
gotcha.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, shout out to Block for having his kid.
Yes.
Baby Block. Coming to you soon, I guess, maybe in a video. That'd be hilarious. But congratulations, Block. I know it was a long kind of day and night. I've been there a couple times. So congratulations on your second child. We love you and hope everybody is safe and happy.
Frederick Fritz Henry.
Don't read the name on the show.
What?
No.
Oh.
We didn't get his permission.
Oh.
Now I'm going to have to cut that out.
Hey, Block. Well, can I call him Fritz?
No. Baby Block. That's it.
Baby Block. Yes. He's a July 4th baby. So
he is. He's a firework.
Yes.
I just got Katy Perry stuck in my head. No.
Yes. So you ready to jump into Snacktendo?
Yeah, I suppose.
So I snacked on some not too much new stuff because a lot of new things haven't dropped yet in our store. But I did have a Pokeball from
a what?
A Pokeball?
What is that? Like Pokemon themed?
No,
food?
a Pokeball. No, it's like a Hawaiian style sushi in a sense, but it's not wrapped up. Everything is raw, besides the rice. Pokeball. Pokeball.
Okay.
Yes. You can get it spicy. You know, you can add different things that you want to add. For me, I kind of kept it, nice and sweet. I actually put pineapple in mine because it was like tuna, rice, green onions, and some other things, avocado and stuff. But I also tried they call it sweet sauce, but it's actually teriyaki sauce. And it was really good. I kind of changed it up, added some things for it, and let me tell you, I have Pokeballs with like little jalapeno pieces in it. The heat is ridiculous. I was just like, "Ooh, this is so hot." It doesn't ruin the flavor or anything because when it comes to spice, everybody, I do love spicy tuna rolls. Whatever that little orange sauce that's on it or anything, I definitely enjoy it. I always get it every time I get some sushi or something that's on sale. I get the spicy tuna. And I haven't had spicy salmon yet, but spicy tuna, I would eat because it's not too hot or anything. Other than that, had some Domino's, Chipotle. So I don't know if I think I said this last week, but I ended up ordering Panda Express and Chipotle on the same day.
I think you talked about that at some point.
Okay, so yeah, I didn't know if I remember to talk about that. I ate the Panda Express and then saved the Chipotle when I got home and stuff. the strawberry margarita, Tadatina, I think I spoke of. Yeah, I kind of a little bit low key and with this because there's not a whole bunch of snacks that came out. I am eating the Ginger Man Pepperidge Farm ones. Ginger, really good. I really love these. I think I probably need some milk with them because they're a little bit dry due to how crispy they are. Um, and I think if I just gave it some milk, just like gave it a little liquid and stuff, it would just melt in my mouth. But they are really, really good. And then got like a 5 pound thing of lightsaber gummies. Because I can't find our berry ones of the lightsabers. They're still like on recall. So I was just like, oh. Yeah, but that's kind of what I've been snacking on. I think Friday I'm going to go to Firehouse Subs. I'm going to try to try some different foods this week. Um and maybe there is a Mexican restaurant that is like family owned. So Corey, I kind of need you to like I know it's not the restaurant that you have, but if they have a similar burrito, uh, I want to know what I need to order and then what stuff they should add onto it.
Hmm. Okay. Like right
You
now?
know, no,
Like
you can
oh.
do it. You can send it to me in text
Well,
whenever. So be like, Ed, this is how you make the good burrito. Because I want to
well,
taste.
here's the thing. It depends on what kind of meat they have too, because a lot of places have different meats. Like I get the
Mhm,
chorizo chicken, which is like a chicken sausagey type chicken, or like the shredded chicken is always a classic, right? But like
uh-huh.
I always get the chorizo chicken and the grilled onions and and jalapenos together, and the mixed veggies and the habanero salsa, and I get extra salsa and extra cheese because like I don't really like sour cream. Like I used to have sour cream on stuff, but then I'm just like I
Mm.
don't like the taste of too much sour cream, and they always mess it up, and I just don't. I just don't. So I always get extra cheese instead. Ah, perfect.
Okay. Uh, I want to experience the idea of your burrito until
There's no
I,
idea, Ed. There's only one burrito. Okay, there's only one.
well, I won't be able to like taste the burrito that you get until I come and visit, hopefully in 2 more months.
I mean that's true, but also there's no burrito like this burrito.
I know. So, but yeah, that's pretty much my snack tendo. And
Hmm.
not too big or anything. Um, yeah, I did. Oh, I did try. I don't know if I talked about this. I may have the mango Baja Mountain Dew. I did try.
Hmm.
I don't know if I was able if I talked about it last time, but I
You
did
did
try it.
not, but sounds great.
It's really good. That and that pineapple Baja Blast,
Yeah,
really good. Uh,
yeah.
something, yeah, something about the regular Baja Blast. I think I like it in the bottle than I do at Taco Bell, for a sense.
Man, I don't even remember the last time I had any sort of Mountain Dew. Like I just don't remember the last time I had Mountain Dew. I it was I mean it was within the last like couple years because I remember I brought one home from like work or something because they gave us Mountain
Hmm.
Dew or something, and like I started drinking it. My wife looks at me, she's like, "Ew, you like Mountain Dew?" And I'm like, I sometimes maybe I don't know because like so like I started drinking like energy drinks instead of Mountain Dew and stuff, and like
Yeah.
I just don't drink pop anymore, like ever, like ever drink pop. Even when we go out to eat, like well, not that not that we've been out to eat anytime recently, but like even when we go out to eat, I just drink water, you know. And so like anytime I have pop now, it's like it has that really heavy syrupy taste, like the corn syrup,
Yeah.
and you can taste it and just it's not good, you know? So I don't know. I'm just
Before you go on, I forgot to add. I did try Burger King's Southwest bacon Whopper.
mm,
Really good.
mm,
Really, really good.
mm, mm. Neat. Anyways, is it my turn? Does that mean it's my turn?
Yes.
Cool. Oh boy, sirens everywhere. Also, by the way, audio people, if you hear like loud booms or bops or whatever, it's 4th of July here in America, so or sirens or anything, so it's probably fireworks and law enforcement trying to stop people from blowing up their own fireworks. So apologies, because I've heard it on my end. I've heard it, I'm sure you've heard it on Ed's end. Just like, see, there it is. Just sorry. Okay, America is weird. We like to blow stuff up. But anyways, yesterday I had a Cajun gyro that was really good from Papa Euros.
Ooh.
And the Cajun is good there. I got feta cheese and tzatziki sauce and diced up tomatoes and onions, and just it's really good. Their fries are terrible, but they're
How
like
terrible? It's like basic fries.
no, it's just like they're those fries that like it's weird, like because I would compare them to like freezer fries from the grocery store, the thicker ones that are like if you don't cook them long enough, they taste like they're not cooked long enough and they're kind of soggy. But if you cook them like 5 seconds too long, they're burnt.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's that, but also the place is 10 minutes from my house, so I have to go get it and bring them home, and they're sitting in a bag, which makes them extra soggy and cold. And they're just like they're just not worth getting. But the gyros are amazing. So I had that. Wait, no, that was Saturday. Today's Monday. That was Saturday. Yesterday, we got Dewey's Pizza because my mom offered to buy us dinner because we've been locked up with COVID for a week and a half. And she offered to buy us dinner. So we were like, you know what? We're going to get Dewey's because it's expensive pizza, but it's amazing pizza. So we got a basic pepperoni because my kids, my daughter will only eat maybe a pepperoni piece, right? So, but we got a 17-inch Santa Fe chicken pizza.
Ooh.
So instead of pizza sauce, they use barbecue sauce.
Yes.
And then it's like grilled chicken and like corn and black bean salsa, grilled red peppers, drizzled with like barbecue sauce. Oh my gosh, it's like one of those things we have to get. It's on the list. We have to get it. It's so good. And so we had enough pizza left over that we ate it again tonight for dinner. I got to tell you, man, the Dewey's Pizza is like, it's the best pizza around here. The only thing is it's so darn expensive that it's like we have to really be craving it to get it. Or else it's like, so like the 17-inch pizza, the Santa Fe one is like $27 for an extra large pizza.
That's about the same size as there's a pizza place right by my job that's about that same. I paid like $30 for like a large supreme pizza.
Man, that's like, I mean, yeah, but like when you compare it to Domino's and you can get a large pizza for $7, with 3 toppings, it's like, why, why would I go pay $30 for,
I think it's like the ingredients and quality.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like Dewey's is way better than Domino's any day of the week, but also sometimes like you just don't want to pay $30 for pizza.
Yeah, you want garbage.
Yeah,
and Domino's sells good garbage sometimes.
Yeah, Domino's is the best garbage pizza, hands down. Yes. The best garbage pizza.
And we're saying garbage as in like comforting.
I know. I think people at this point, if people are just tuning in, hello, hi, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block. But like, if you haven't gotten the Domino's pizza inside joke already, you're just not gonna get it. It's been a running theme on the show for at least 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, we have a lot of inside jokes. I guess that's what happens when you've been doing a show since what, March of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I thought we started earlier than that, but apparently we didn't.
It's what a time.
Yeah.
What a time it was.
Anyways, man. But that's kind of it. We had some ice cream and stuff too, but you know, we were supposed to go do cookout things for 4th of July today, but obviously we didn't go because, well, I have COVID still. None of my family has it. I just have it. But my brother-in-law is immunocompromised, so we really can't be around him.
Yes. Well, Corey, you want to get into some Patreons?
Yeah. All right. So, Patreon, if you want to support the show directly and the Boss Rush Network directly, you can head on over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Boss Rush Network. For those who don't know what Patreon is, it's a monthly subscription service that allows fans to directly support their favorite creators in return for some perks such as early access to podcasts, among other things. We currently offer 2 tiers, $1 a month tier, which grants you 1 week early access to the Boss Rush podcast and Nintendo Power Blocks Expansion Pass show, which you can find every Saturday on this feed, but also you get it 1 week early on the Patreon feed. And 2 weeks early access to Standard Definition, the Retro Nostalgia podcast, and Boss Rush After Dark. So our second tier is our $5 tier, which is our Patreon producer tier. That means you get your name shouted out during this segment. So without further ado, our Patreon producers are as follows. Drum roll, please, Ed. Okay. Our Patreon producers are Quentin Jackson, Rebecca Jewell, Adriel Munger, my wife, Sana Derrick, and we have a new Patreon producer this month.
Yes.
Again, apologize if I butcher your name. If I do, DM us on Patreon with like a correct pronunciation. We'll do better next time. I don't like butchering people's names coming from someone who gets their name butchered all the time. I know how it feels. Francisco Santillan. Santillan? So, yes. Again, thank you to our Patreon producers for supporting our show. Thank you to all of our patrons. Really appreciate it. And thank you to all of our free listeners out there. Remember, all of our content continues to be free. We just offer some perks to those who support us over on our Patreon page. So, yes.
Yes. Ooh.
You all right over there, Ed?
Yes, I am. It's just a lot of fireworks.
Yeah. Again, everybody, sorry about the fireworks. There's some going off at our house, too. I don't know if you hear them or not, but anyways.
Yes. Well, Corey, it's time for Playing with Power.
All right.
Okay. So, I'm go ahead and talk about 2 of them, and we're gonna hold on off to Death's Door because we're both playing Death's Door and Fire Emblem Warriors. But go ahead and talk about the other 2 games that you've been playing, or the other games that you've been playing.
So I've been playing Shredder's Revenge on the Switch. I booted up the Switch version, and I'm like, why? Where's all my progress? Where's all my progress? And I forgot that I've been playing the Game Pass version on Xbox just because it was done downloading first. So I started playing that version, and then I never went back to it because I got so enthralled into Death's Door. But I found out, Ed, that you can connect the Super Nintendo controller, the Switch Online one, to Ninja Turtles, and it works. It works. And it feels like I'm playing Turtles in Time again. I almost said Hyperstone Heist, which that's wrong. But it's super fun. If you haven't played it already, I highly recommend it. It's definitely a throwback to people that are, in their 30s and 40s who grew up watching these cartoons, right? It's definitely not based off the new cartoons. I like the new mix of the song. I know people have problems with it. I like it. The theme song.
Yes.
So I've been playing that, and I've been playing Metroid Dread again, Ed. I I'm in this spot where like I'll run around for like 45 minutes and not make any progress, and then I'll save it and turn it off. Just because I like how it plays, and then I get lost, and I hate that. I get lost all the time.
Hmm.
But I've been playing that, and also Ed, I turned on Breath of the Wild again. I started
Yes.
running around in Breath of the Wild, and I was just like running around collecting like so I started playing it because I've been uploading old episodes, and there was like a 3 month span where all we talked about was Breath of the Wild.
Wow.
And like,
Yeah.
you know, our impressions of Breath of the Wild. We love Breath of the Wild. What's after Breath of the Wild? Why are we still talking about Breath of the Wild? Like, the episode titles are literally that. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta play it. So I turned it on, and I was like collecting a lot of stuff, and just really trying to make smart upgrades and upgrading armor for some reason, even though I'm not playing it again for real.
Does it feel comforting to play it? Like just something like you enter back there into that world, you put the control and just be like, man,
Well, it
this feels
does.
good.
It does. And like I wish I had more stuff to do in the game. Like I wish I had more things to do. I've literally done everything. I did all the shrines, I got all the Korok seeds. The only thing I didn't do was upgrade any of the armor. That's literally the only thing I didn't do. I upgraded my favorite set of armor, and then I stopped upgrading, right? And like that's so like I went around and tried to find some enemies to fight, and I went around trying to find weapons and stuff. And like my thing with that game is like I really hate the weapon breaking system. That's literally
Ah,
my one big gripe with that game is the weapon breaking stuff. And I didn't have any of my amiibo down off the shelf to like try to uh get more stuff easily. So that's I just was breaking stuff, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta stop doing this. And then I went around the castle, like, because those ruins around the castle, there's some pretty good like royal swords hidden in there and stuff
hmm.
that you can find, and they're pretty serviceable, right? They're a little bit more powerful than the master sword, like the base master sword. So I've been doing that. Also, everybody, sorry, my son's crying in the background, but you're gonna have to get over it. But yeah, man, Breath of the Wild is so much fun. I seriously considered starting a new game this weekend, Saturday, like just starting a new game and playing it again. And you know, my initial reason for playing it again was like those uploading our older episodes, but also I turned on The Witcher, and like I like The Witcher, but it's so hard and cumbersome, especially when you haven't played it in like 6 months. You're like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm fighting this werewolf. This is why I stopped playing the first time. Like I've started fighting this werewolf. I can't beat this werewolf. I don't remember where my spells are at. Okay, how do I switch magic spells? Like, how do I switch swords? Why am I eating bread when I want to switch over to my other sword? Like that kind of annoying thing when you. And again, this is on me because I haven't played the game in like probably 6 to 12 months, right?
Hmm.
Uh, and I just forgot the controls, and I'm stealing Nintendo Life's word commitment game. I know they didn't coin it, but I was watching a video on long games, and they called them commitment
Yeah,
games.
I seen that one too.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I just want to run around this an open world and like do whatever I want. So I'm like, okay, well, Breath of the Wild. So, man, dude, Breath of the Wild is so good. I love this game. I want to play it again so bad. Like knowing what I know now, as opposed to playing it earlier, right? Like I just want to
Yeah.
play the game.
Yeah. I have put it in and just was running around just like because of my new TV of my TV that I had. I never, played Breath of the Wild on it or anything. And I kind of just wanted to see like in this big like widescreen format. And I'm just like, man, if I put this game in and I just start running around, I'm going to get lost into the game and it's going to feel good in a sense. Uh, so,
Yeah, I'm
um,
I'm I'm really interested to see like where Breath of the Wild 2 starts out, and like are they just going to assume that you played the first game? Are they just going to like continue with those powers? Like, are they gonna Metroid you and like you lose all your powers and have to regain them? Like, I know we're getting new powers, but are they gonna just like change the old powers? You know?
I think they'll probably Metroid it first, but they'll teach you everything. Nintendo's always about, yeah, we're doing this. We're going to make sure that we teach you on how to use it and why we changed it and everything and how to use it in puzzles. I think they're going to go in and like really teach you hands on. And then once you get taught the basics, they'll let you could go out and experiment and learn more for it.
Okay. Yeah, I just man, my son is like, I don't understand what's wrong with him, dude. He's just all over the place. Sometimes he'll sleep for like 4 or 5 hours straight, like at the end of the night, and sometimes he'll sleep for a half hour and wake up every 10 minutes. It's just, you know. But also he's been sick too, so I guess I shouldn't be too harsh on the guy, you know. Whatever. But yeah, Ed, that's kind of what I've been playing, although I've been playing a lot of Destiny and Outriders as well. Well, not so much Destiny. I played on Saturday with my friends, but
nice.
But Outriders, that new DLC came out.
Yeah.
I haven't played it yet, but I've been kind of watching some of it, and it looks really good. But man,
is it part of the Game Pass, or you
have to buy it? Like the base game is on Game Pass, but the DLC is not, and it's $40, which I will get when I beat the main campaign of the base game. I will 100% buy the World Slayer. I love Outriders, and the more I play, the more I fall in love with the game. And like my only gripe with the game is like the map system is really weird, and they try to do the Borderlands thing where like you kind of load into other zones. It's not really an open world game by any stretch, and it's not done that well. But when you get into the like encounters, the powers are so good. They're so fun to use, and yeah, if you have Game Pass, I'd try it out, but it's also on sale on Amazon. Like I told Ed, I think the PlayStation 5 version is $18 and the Xbox version is $14.
That's such a good deal.
It's a great deal. I love that game so much, and I know people are like, it's stupid. That game's stupid. I'm like, I don't care. So is whatever game you're playing. So get over it. But that's what I've been playing. What are you playing, Ed? And then we'll get into Death's Door and Fire Emblem, obviously.
So speaking of like Xbox, I'm at the end of Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and I'm doing New Game Plus. I think I just realized that I've been playing it on easy, but I skipped all the side quests and everything. And like I said, I'm like, man, this game really isn't that long if you replay it and you play it on easy and you just do all the main stuff and go just like mission to mission. It's not really that long, but it's still fun. So I'm going back and doing all the side stuff before I get to the final piece of the game. Just to, continue to level up Laura so I could just unlock her whole skill questing with that. Other than that, I did start Twin Mirror on Xbox. It's a game from Don't Nod. It's like one of their adventure games from Don't Nod. And I'm just at the beginning of the game. And it's look like it's going to be a very interesting mystery. You play as this investigative writer who has left your town, and I believe your best friend has passed away, and you're coming up to pay kind of your respects. But there's a mystery that's going on in the town, and his daughter, the friend's daughter, is asking you to kind of find out how did my dad die? Because he died under mysterious circumstances. So I believe you're going to be like, doing investigations, asking questions. It might be some quick time events and stuff going there. And it looks like it's going to be a really fun game. I bought it on Xbox Live a while back. I think it was like only about $5. It was like really cheap when I got it. So that's pretty much what I'm doing with my Xbox. I am going to be getting back into some PlayStation 4 games because I do want to stream that on my YouTube page. But I'm waiting for I'm just uh the waiting for time to be able to hop in and everything. But for Switch, I actually started up Curse of the Moon 2 Bloodstain, or Bloodstain Curse of the Moon 2. Pretty good, not bad or
That first
anything.
one's really fun.
It really is, yes.
That
Um,
that first one made me made me buy the Castlevania collection
oh wow.
because, like,
Uh,
I mean, not to cut you off, sorry, but like Castlevania, like the two big kind of major classic franchises that are major holes in my gaming whatever besides like Metroid and 2D Zelda is Mega Man and
mhm.
Castlevania. And so I I bought all of the collections for those
Oh
games
wow, yes.
because of Curse of the Moon, the first one.
Oh, that's awesome. Uh,
We'll have to go through
uh
those games some one day.
Oh goodness. I would need a. I would tell you this. I would need a guide for Simon's Quest 2 because um I know I beat that game, but I didn't get everything to get the good ending for it, and I kind of want to do it for the good ending because at the time it came out there was no strategy guide for it or anything. Speaking of Little Nova, Sion, Paradise, it's kind of a roguelike game, not too hard. You fight with these spirit, cause you're an alchemist, and you fight these animals or these spirits, uh, and try to, save this cat and everything who is looking for, this power. And I believe because it's roguelike, if you died, you got to start at the beginning. And then it's like kind of random generated. But everything that like this energy that you get from defeating enemies and stuff, you'll bring back to your ship and use it to restore your ship. It's not too bad or anything. It's very anime-ish, and the local there isn't no English voice in here. Everything is in Japanese and just only like English subtitles for you to read. Uh, Pike and Rocky Reshrine. I've been playing that, getting my tail whooped. This game is hard. It's a good shoot 'em up, but um, I think it would be easier if you got two players and everything. But it's not bad. I do have Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, but I'm saving it for a little bit for this week and a little bit more on this weekend. Uh, because we will be giving impressions of it next week. Corey, I did invite Grayson and Laron to come on next week to talk about it. It's not going to be doc mode or anything, but we're going to be just talking about it. Give everybody an idea of it and everything. Um, Neon White is really good. It's giving me that nice Titanfall 2 movement and flow. And it's not too hard or anything. I gotta play some more and get into the groove. The controls are weird for a bit. It does take time to get accustomed to, but I think once you get it, uh you'll be able to get through a lot of the levels and everything because the levels are not too long or anything. You just got to make sure if you're a person who want to do a speed run, yes, that would matter to you. But other than that, you can pretty much like just go to the game, make sure you beat all the enemies and get to the end and as fast as you can and everything. So it's a really good game. Um, I did try the Live Alive demo. Um, I gotta play it. I gotta sit down with it and try to learn this mechanics because I don't know if this game is gonna allow me to grind and everything. And they what they did was like I'm playing it on normal, and I think it's because it is on that kind of level. I may have to drop it to easy because in normal like some enemies could wipe you out in 2 hits because you haven't had time to grind or anything. And I know there's different stories. I only played like the ninja story, But I need to get back into it, and I think I need to sit down with it and just like really learn the inside and out of this game. So when it comes time to uh get the full version of this game, I'll be ready to go. Um, Elect Head and Bayonetta 2 I put to the side. I will be returning to those to finish and everything. But we're gonna get a little. Let's start with Fire Emblem Warriors. Three Hopes. I am enjoying this game, and I love the fact that there isn't a timer to this game.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm definitely enjoying it too. I'm enjoying it much more than I thought I was going to. And
Hmm.
the thing is like, I mean, I just don't like Warriors games, right? That's just something that I have come to terms with, but I always give the ones that with like that are, part of a franchise that I enjoy, I always give them a shot because there's something that I just want to support more spin-offs, more within the franchises that I really like, right? And so Fire Emblem Three Houses is like one of my favorite games of all time at this point. It's got great characters, obviously, like the story is interesting enough. Like I just wanted to spend more time with those characters. And
Yeah.
uh I would say I'm about 2.5 hours in. Uh which is like I think maybe like two missions and a lot of dialogue. Uh, which I'm
Yes.
actually shocked that there's this much dialogue in the game. Which I guess I shouldn't be because Three Houses was like this, but uh, I love Shez. I think Shez is an awesome
Yes.
character. Did you pick male or female Shez?
I got female.
Oh yeah, so did I. She's super awesome. I love her design.
I love her voice acting too. The voice actor for her is
Mm-hmm.
really good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Her relationship with what Arvel, I think, is the all white character that
Yeah.
yeah, I like their relationship. I think that I don't know. I actually like the combat. It feels different than the other Warriors games I've played, even more so than like even the first Fire Emblem Warriors, uh,
Yeah.
and even Age of Calamity. I mean, Age of Calamity had so many different types of characters that like for me it was just hard to like get used to a lot of the differences. Where like, yeah, all these characters have different abilities and different weapons and stuff, but they're all melee focused weapons except for Claude's at this point where I'm at, right? And so,
Mm.
I mean, I picked the Black Eagles because that's who I was in Three Houses, and so I'm not probably going to use Claude a whole lot anymore. But that first kind of tutorial level where they kind of make you choose all three or play as all three of the house leaders.
Yeah.
Claude was definitely my least favorite, and Edelgard. I can't not say no to Edelgard. Edelgard's my girl, so I went with the Black Eagles. Um,
That's the Red House, right?
yeah,
Okay. I went
surprised.
with the.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say surprised at how strategic this game is. Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of commands and like giving characters commands, and maybe this was part of the first one too, and I just didn't get far enough because I did not enjoy playing it. Which now I should probably go back and probably play it a little bit and see if it's
There's
changed at
there's a
all.
lo- there's a lot of switching in the first Fire Emblem Warriors because they even did
Hmm.
that in Hyrule Warriors, where when you have multiple characters with you, you have to switch it, but because you're on a time, so they have to clean like folks out, and you have to keep on switching. This one doesn't feel like that. It really feels like, yeah, you have different opponents and you can switch to them, but at points in the game you could select and order them to go there and have them fight. And then when you're finished with your fight, you could go and join them
Right.
and everything. And I like that. And it still carries that paper, rock, scissors um, kind of gameplay where if it's a sword, I think like a spear would be the sword, and just
Yeah.
for example, like stuff like that.
Hmm.
And I think that's so cool that they incorporated.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, so I mean it's very very fun. It's definitely my palate cleanser for the other game we're going to talk about.
Yes.
You know, because that game is excruciatingly difficult at points. And so yeah, I love Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes. I mean, even if you're not into Warriors games, I would at least try to give it a try. There is a demo out there that
Mm-hmm.
I think is the entire prologue and maybe one or two missions after progress carries over. Yeah, I don't know. I love Shez. I love the characters of that world. I am really interested to see how and why Byleth is kind of being set up as the villain, which is interesting. Which almost makes me think that they canonicized one of the endings in Three Houses. I'm not going to spoil which one, but it's it's the secret route. We'll say that, and I just want to see what happens from here because Byleth is such a cool character too that I'm shocked that they kind of positioned her as the what do they call her and they call her the something demon. I forget what it's called, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I forgot.
But anyways, Ed, you continue.
Yes, so I am enjoying Fire Emblem Warriors. I'll be playing a little bit more of that throughout the week, for our spoiler cast. But Death's Door, I
Ah,
played
yes.
this. So, Corey, I think you are at the second boss. I'm assuming the second dungeon.
I'm at the second. So I kind of made it through because the first dungeon is the urn witch and quote unquote
Yeah, Grandma.
grandma, right? And uh you kind of go through this first section of the dungeon and then you kind of get kicked out to get the power to solve the dungeon, the second part of the
Yeah,
dungeon. So I'm at that part on the second dungeon where you kind of get kicked out and get eaten by the chest to go down and
I didn't expect that. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going? No,
yeah.
and it's they do it so good because the chest eats you, and then when it cuts to the next scene, it's like a Looney Tune kind of version because the bird is literally the crow is flat on. No,
Uh-huh.
no, what threw me off, and I had to screen cap this. You're about to fight Grandma.
Uh-huh.
She turns around and she says, "You little stuff."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Wait a minute, what?"
Yeah.
I had to screen cap it.
Yeah.
I did beat her though, so I think I might be where you're at because I also beat the treasure chest and got the bomb and everything. But I didn't. I got out that dungeon and went back to the estate, so I could collect some stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. This game is definitely heavily Zelda and Dark Souls inspired. I hate the fact that like I'm comparing a game to Dark Souls because not that I hate Dark Souls, but like I just feel like that term is thrown around so much, right?
yes,
And I'm careful to compare something to Dark Souls because it becomes scary to people, right? That term Souls like is
yes.
very scary to people. Uh which by the way, I picked up Dark Souls remastered on a sale for Switch, so just so you guys are all aware, and I'm not exactly 100% sure why, but I did. But yeah, I the combat is super challenging, especially when you're playing in handheld mode. It's definitely not ideal to be playing with the Joy-Cons. But yeah, I'm in the swamp area, and I'm in the chest right now. That's where I turned it off.
Okay.
Uh, and it's so hard. Like you're in this little confined space. By the way, the part before that little room where there's like the three kind of lanes and the water in the middle of each lane,
Yeah,
and
and
like the guys with the shields.
yes,
Oh my gosh, dude! I kept forgetting that they swung the hammer twice. And
Yeah.
like like
So
after their first swing, I'd roll in there to like hit them, and then they would smash me. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I probably it probably took me like
so have you,
a half
what
hour
is
to finish that
what
room.
is your level of your melee attack?
Oh, that's the one I've leveled up the most already. I think I'm 3 out of 5.
Okay, so I just got 5. When I was firing them, I was doing 4. The thing about it is,
Oh,
so
did
you
you?
have to hit,
Were you like grinding the stats things out?
yeah, to get the melee attack
Oh
done.
wow.
But what I realized to beat those things, I was hitting. I'm just like, you know what? Because the melee attack is when you upgrade it, it gets longer and somewhat a little bit stronger. I was hitting ZR because that's the kind of like your hard hitting
Yeah,
attack where
that's
you
the
get
heavy attack.
charged.
Yeah.
So when I got to 4, and you might be able to do this with 3, I was able to like hit them, roll out, hit them, roll out, hit them. If you get 3 hits using ZR, if you're at level 4, they'll destroy.
Yeah.
They'll be dead. Because I was doing that section over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I died once in the chest, uh, but like the second time I ended up beating them. But yeah, that mug was hard.
Yeah.
Cause you gotta be in the distance to hit them, but you got the other two throwing those long bombs. And you can't swat them out or anything. So you gotta kind of like roll and dip.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't know. I hate those guys though. I just I every time like so like the little wizards that shoot the blue fire out, right?
Yeah.
Those guys are like pretty easy, and then you have like the little guys that chase you, right? Like the
Yeah.
guys. But man, when you start putting like the big enemies in with like the stronger enemies in with the little moblin guys, and like you're trying to like kill the little moblins, and
Yes.
then all of a sudden you think you're far away enough from the guys with the shield, and they just start slinging these yellow explosive bombs at you, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it's insane. And I'm just like, I gotta get out of here. And now I'm at this point, like I'm in the chest, right, trying to get the new ability, and like I only played it once and then I was just like, I gotta go do something else. But like they have the little like bird guy with the big kind of cannon that he's carrying around, and
Yeah.
like if he's not shooting you, he's like smashing you with it. And so like that gets really annoying. And then you have the guys with the bows and arrows, and then you have the guys that are just chasing you around. It's just, oh my gosh, there's so many different things that it's just like unnecessarily overwhelming, I feel like. And it's just like, oh my gosh. But
Yes.
but then when you
But
beat it, like you get that feeling like when you're playing a Dark Souls game, you feel super accomplished because you figured it out, and then you get that sensation of like, oh my gosh, it's over. I'm so happy I have this new ability. Let's go tackle the dungeon, and then you want to go play for like 2 more hours until you get stuck again, and you're just like, oh my gosh, make it end.
so the seeds that you put in the plants to get like energy and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I at one point I had like 6 of them because I was collecting them, but I wasn't putting them all
Uh-huh.
in the plant thing until I needed
Yeah.
it and everything. And it's just like, goodness, I'm like, goodness, why am I saving these?
Right.
Because I feel like that I'm gonna get to a plant pot and I'm not gonna have enough seeds, and then to realize that, oh, if I just went up the ladder and go to the left, it's right here.
Yeah. I kind of
know.
I keep like 2 or 3 on me at all times, I think.
Yeah.
I have 3 in my inventory right now. And like it's it kind of sucks cuz you like want to plant one, and then but sometimes when you plant one, you go into the next room and there's like a shortcut back to like the main kind of hub area,
Yeah.
and then you don't really need to plant something because you already did it in the beginning, but you didn't know where the shortcuts would lead back to. And you're like, oh, well, I kind of feel like I just wasted one.
Yes.
Also, I don't use them in the overworld either, because the potted plant stuff is all over the place, and I don't use them in the overworld. I only use them in the dungeons.
Hmm.
So that's kind of helped me save some as well. But
Yeah, it's I, I'm gonna say what we're gonna be talking to Doc Mo a little bit later. I think the one thing, the other thing that I am enjoying this. I wish it did have a map at some times because I sometimes I get just lost and
mhm.
just be like, dang, where's the interest to get into the store and stuff.
Yeah, but
Um,
that's the Dark Souls part of the game too, right? Where like Dark Souls doesn't really have a map. They just tell you to go explore and you'll figure it out, you know? And I think
yeah,
and from what I've heard, that's how Tunic is too, is like you just should just explore. You don't need to like
yeah,
really do all this, although I know Tunic is a little bit more cumbersome for people. The Death's Door kind of strikes the nice balance between a Zelda game and a Dark Souls game where like it's not overly difficult, but if you mess up, you know, you're gonna mess up and then you restart, right? But like
yes.
you don't lose the souls when you die either. That's kind of nice. Uh, I think the combat feels really good. I think it feels just like I think it feels better than like a uh overhead Zelda game, right? Like a 2D Zelda
Mhm.
game. I think the combat feels great. I love how the game
I think it's
controls.
because it's in 3D.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a 3D game that's the camera's just pulled out, right? And
Yes.
that's what I think I like the most about it is it feels good to play. It feels so
Mhm.
good to play. And the story is dark, but it's also kind of comedic, in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Man,
Lord of the Doors.
yeah. Or like
I'm
the
just
the in the Urn Palace or whatever, the the guy that's like her grandson he's the pothead.
yeah.
Just like cuz his head is a pot, right? It's
Yes.
funny. It's good.
Uh,
I ordered the physical edition from Target, by the way.
I wonder, is it the same ones that me and, or is it just
No, it's not the limited run version. It's a different version, but
okay?
there's a $50 version that comes with an art book and a steel case and all that.
Oh,
I
nice.
thought about getting that version, but I don't know. I'm kind of done with the collector's edition thing just because I can never get them. And like,
Uh-huh.
cuz like I wanted that Xenoblade one and I waited in line in the store for like 3 hours and then it timed out on me. And then
Yeah.
by the time I got back in, they were like, "We're sold out." And I'm like, "Yeah, I figured." So like
Yeah.
I'm just
They
like on my shelf, I just want all the cases to look the same. I want them all to look nice. And if I mean the next one I'll probably try to get is a Zelda one, if there is a Zelda one,
mm,
and it'll sell out in like 5 seconds. But anyways, yeah, I ended up just getting the $30 normal edition.
yeah,
Uh,
okay.
but I wanted the physical. I'm on that physical kick again.
Yeah, I was yeah, I'm enjoying Death's Door. I will say that. Like once you start talking about it, and I was just like, okay, let me just continue on because I didn't start over anything. I started to get into the groove of it. I'm just like, okay, now
Hmm.
like I understand it. I got the flow of it. The more the more that I grind and put into my Malay, because if my Malay is strong, I could just really go through. I think the one thing I am kind of not upset about, but I wish they kind of made your life bar a little bit longer.
I
And I
wish there
know you
was a
gotta
way to
find this
extend it
gym.
at least.
Yeah, because it's hard finding those gyms and stuff to
Yeah.
extend it. Because you need four of it, but it's just like right now, like about to explore more of the frog kingdom.
Uh-huh.
And that frog is sassy.
Yeah.
He's just like, you're not gonna get me because I'm not going to die.
Yeah.
And then you smack and he'll be like, ooh, I'll disappear. It really feels like after I beat him, like half of the game is done. And I haven't been able to upgrade my energy.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna after I finish this dungeon, I'm gonna go around the overworld and kind of maybe use a map to like where are these like bird heads,
Mm-hmm.
because I think I've found 3 of them just by random chance, right? Like I found 2 that gives you the blue, and then one that gives you the red. And I think red is for your abilities and green is for your health.
Yeah, it is.
So that's where I'm at with those.
Yeah, because there is some that's in the outside of the mansion one, and it looks like there's a circle. It looks like it's gonna be like a warp area.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also um some like it looks like a sword is in like the ground and has like the brown wrap, and I'm like, this is for like a grapple or like some
Mm-hmm.
kind of whip thing or something.
Yeah.
So I need that to progress and get some things in the old and this different part of the world. And I feel like that once I beat the frog, that is going to be the next power that I get.
Yeah.
But I'm not so sure
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
And everything.
Also, like,
Yes.
also it
Right.
looks like you can like go back to areas that you've already been and unlock stuff too.
Yeah.
So,
So, well, I know. Let's see. I think it's probably around about 3,000 souls to upgrade all to great upgrade one line of it because I'm just like
uh,
the Malay one is important to me
uh,
because it what's weird is just like it says it's supposed to be more powerful,
mhm.
but it doesn't feel that way when you're doing normal
It
attacks. It may be powerful when you're doing like the bigger attacks.
See, I think it feels more powerful when it's hard to judge on the bigger enemies and the newer enemies because you don't really
Yeah.
know. But the smaller enemies, like I've noticed that some of them used to take like 4 hits and now they only take 2 to kill.
Yes.
So I mean, I'm noticing it. It's just it's not noticeable on newer or bigger enemies because they take so many hits anyway. So I don't know, but
Okay.
great game though.
Yes. And I know we're going to be talking more about Death's Door in future episodes. But yeah, I am definitely am enjoying this.
Mm-hmm.
But Corey, it's time for Family News.
Woo! Yeah, an
Take it
hour and
away.
36 minutes into the show. Yeah, we actually have a lot to talk about this week. I have a pretty big wrap up section. No Nintendo this week. There wasn't really any new news out there, except for the Ubisoft stuff, but we're going to talk about that in the news anyway.
Mhm.
So our first story, Ed, Nintendo has filed a new trademark for Donkey Kong. Though companies file and re-up trademarks all the time, this one has caught the eye of many. Instead of a standard trademark renewal, this one is significant because it mentions downloadable programs for portable and electronic consoles, lending more truth to the rumored 3D DK game that is supposedly in development by Nintendo EPD, which is the Mario Odyssey team. They also just renewed Donkey Kong along with Mario, Zelda, and Metroid relatively recently for their releases on NSO. So it wouldn't make sense for them to do it again so soon. I think
Right.
they said May they just did it, or March, maybe March. The last Donkey Kong titles released were Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze from Retro Studios, which came to the Wii U in 2014 and later to the Switch in 2018, and Mario vs. Donkey Kong Tipping Stars, which released on the 3DS in 2015, developed by Nintendo internally. So, what do you think about this Donkey Kong patent renewal, Ed?
I think it's just something for them to keep up to make sure that they don't lose the trademark or anything. I don't think it means a new game is coming because right now I think definitely with Retro focusing on Metro Prime 4 and the other developers are still probably, getting their games ready before release. And us still waiting for that next Mario game. I think Donkey Kong is on the back burner for right now. I will say this. I think 2025 will get a new Donkey Kong. But 2024 will probably be like the reveal of it. Or something.
Hmm.
So I think they're just doing it to be like, hey, we just want to make sure that we keep the trademark going so we don't lose it.
Yeah, but I mean, in the story, they stated that it's different from just a standard renewal. So I wonder, I mean, maybe they just updated it to say, "Hey, these games are downloadable now." I'm not sure. I don't know. I know. I feel like that Donkey Kong game is real, and the fact that
Hmm.
they've done some things with Donkey Kong recently that really makes you think. Very interested in seeing what's going on with
What if
that
they
trailer.
remade Donkey Kong 64?
Oh my gosh, gross. Um, I mean, I know a lot of people like that game, but gross. All right, Ed. Our next story. Last week, Nintendo dropped
Ugh.
dropped 4 new games to their catalog of Sega Genesis, Nintendo Switch Online games.
Before
These,
you go on, this story is bonkers
why is it bonkers?
because we just literally talked about the Sega
Oh yeah,
Genesis.
we did.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
The games include Comic Zone, Target Earth, Zero Wing, and the rarely discussed Mega Man compilation, The Wily Wars. What are these games? Let me tell you. Sorry. In Comic Zone, experience an action game in a setting based on American comics, complete with superhero power ups and intense fighting moves. Comic artist Sketch Turner finds himself lost in the Comic Zone, a comic book world of his own creation, and must battle mutants to escape it, panel by panel. In Target Earth, enemy Kron cyborgs are attacking Earth and its space bases. Battle across 8 different levels filled with exhilarating mech suit platforming action and customize your loadout by earning equipment based on your performance. Can you save the planet and uncover the true legacy of Kron? By the way, Nintendo Life put up this great ranking of all the Genesis games available on the Nintendo Switch Online,
Uh,
and Target Earth was the in last place.
it's
So
so much questionable content.
Zero Wing. This sounds more like your type of game. Is a side-scrolling classic created by Toaplan, a developer of popular arcade games. Cats, the leader of a band of space pirates, is terrorizing the galaxy. Pilot the only remaining Milky Way attack craft, and deploy Vulcan shots, lasers, and homing missiles to stop him and his buccaneers for great justice.
Yeah, this is the game that has the famous line, "All my bases belong to you," or something like that.
Oh
"All bases
gosh,
belong to me," or something like that.
wow. And then the last one, which I think is probably the highlight of this drop, is Mega Man: The Wily Wars. Uh, Mega Man: The Wily Wars features the first 3 games in the renowned Mega Man series compiled for the Sega Genesis. Wily's mechanical minions are on the loose, and Mega Man must defeat a bevy of robot masters to win the day. Beat all 3 games to unlock Wily Tower, where you can challenge a new boss. There are now 29 Genesis games available on Nintendo Switch Online, all of which are compatible with the Genesis wireless controller sold on the Nintendo Online Store. Uh, so yeah, the Mega Man Wily Wars is definitely the highlight of this
I
selection. I feel like.
I want to play. I forgot to start it up and start it because we talked this in our Sega Genesis conversation for our standard definition, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember this game was for their online service. And then I found out that there were some people who actually got the game uh on cartridge and stuff, but America never got it.
Yeah.
So to see that this game is on the Sega Genesis, I am excited to play. I've beaten all the original Mega Man games. Everybody should know that. But I've
You have?
never got a chance.
Whoa.
I never got a chance to uh play the Wily Wars and stuff. Um because I just didn't have the online feature and everything. And like were new graphics, and I kind of want to see how does the Mega Man soundtrack sound on the Genesis soundtrack. How does this game play with it? Is it do they fix any of the problems that the old games have? Like I'm excited to like really play. Comic Zone is hard.
I know
I
a friend of show, Danomac from Dinosaur Machines podcast was really excited for Comic Zone on Twitter the other day. I couldn't tell if he was being sarcastic or not, but he seemed excited.
Yes. Target Earth is so much questionable content. I actually spent birthday money getting this game for the Sega Genesis.
Why?
Because it from the box art, because I was in such a shoot 'em up mood on the Sega Genesis. When I looked at it, I'm just like, oh, this is like an action packed, shooter. I'm going to get it. Was playing the first level, be like, okay, that's cool. Got to the second level where I'm supposed to fly and died within seconds, and it said game over. I'm like, and I kept dying in the same spot. I'm like, this shouldn't be that hard of a game. So, and then I never got to play Zero Wing, but I remember seeing the bad localization in EGM that made people laugh. So, I'm excited to give Comic Zone another try. I'm excited to play Zero Wing and Mega Man the Wily Wars. Target Earth could just stay in the questionable content bin. Yes, because that game.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna. My goal is to play some more classic games soon because I have not done so, and I feel terrible for not playing as many games as I would like to. Specifically for this show, haven't played a lot, which I think is why I've been spending so much time with Death's Door and like at least experimenting with a bunch of other games. But
yes,
we'll get to that with Docked Mode later. Our next story, Ed, a Nintendo superfan reportedly spent over $40,000 to ask if Nintendo would ever revive franchises like F-Zero, Baton Kaitos, and Wario Land, and others that haven't seen new entries for a long time. According to Video Games Chronicle, the fan bought 100 shares in Nintendo stock in February in hopes to ask the question. In hopes to... I got lost. In hopes to ask the questions many have asked themselves time and time again, Nintendo actually had a response ready, stating, quote, "It is realistically difficult to develop new titles and remakes, including sequels, for every Nintendo game that people request, but we are very grateful and appreciate the expectations our fans have for our games, ellipsis. We are always considering how to develop new titles and remakes that can be enjoyed by many players." It has been quite a while since the last entries in these series. The last F-Zero title was F-Zero Climax, a Japan-only Game Boy Advance game, while the rest of the world last saw the franchise on GameCube in 2003. Baton Kaitos' last entry was also on the GameCube in the form of Baton Kaitos Origins, releasing on December 5th, 2003 by Xenoblade developer Monolith Soft. We last saw Wario Land Shake It release in July of 2008. So that's the last time we saw those franchises. Ed, how do you feel about this response from Nintendo, first of all?
So I kind of struggle with this one because I understand that they couldn't, they say realistically we can't make a sequel to every game. But I'm like, no, you actually can. You just choose not to. As many games of popular franchises that are the IP that they have, you guys can make a game. It's nothing about being what can we create to make this game our own. I think it's just like you could go in and literally just make a game and improve on some things, and people will buy it and everything. People are. It's not so much as a request, but you see the fandom on it, and it just feels like these games that help build your company, they're being ignored. People will buy a F-Zero. People are telling Nintendo, we don't it could be a sequel, it could be a follow-up, it don't have to have all the bells and whistles and everything. And I know you try to do something more, but break that philosophy and just create something that is enjoyable, that's going to be fun, that is going to work, and we would give you our $60.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know, it
I mean, I think it just comes down to Nintendo internally wants to kind of make games that people first of all will buy.
mhm.
But second of all, like I think they are still struggling to make games in the kind of, I would say, between the $20 and $50 range instead of the $60 range. I think they hold their franchises and their games at a premium, whether people agree with that or not. Like, how often do you see Nintendo's games go down in price? Never,
Barely.
never. Like you see,
Well, if they
sa-
go on sale,
I mean,
it's like 41.99.
yeah, but they don't stay at that price. They go back up,
Yes.
right? And so I think the last time we really saw that was like the Player's Choice games on GameCube, right? Or
On Wii.
I guess the 3DS had the Player's Choice thing too, but uh, you know what I mean? Like they just have it in there because like the developer behind Fast RMX and Fast Racing Neo
Mm-hmm.
pitched that as an F-Zero game, and Nintendo said no, right? Like how many people you think have pitched Nintendo an idea for one of their IPs and Nintendo just said no, right? Like
They probably done a lot of it.
yeah, and I mean that. Remember when everybody was just straight up shocked when Cadence of Hyrule came out because Anuma and Miyamoto love Crypto the Necrodancer, so they reached out to the developer to make a Zelda game, which is unheard of, right?
Exactly.
And I wish they would do more. They find gems all the time like that with snipper clips, with good job, moving out. Like they do find smaller gems. Like just let your characters do these other things, right? Like let other creators do something with IP, especially ones that you're not using, right? Like I think I mean look what Ubisoft did with Star Fox, right?
Yes.
And I know technically it wasn't really a Star Fox game, but it was a Star Fox game.
They
They just found a way to put it on other consoles. They just ripped out the
Exactly.
whole Fox McCloud stuff.
Yes.
Uh,
I think like with the team with Fast Mix Neo, I think Nintendo was just like, we love what you guys are doing, but it's not us. I think and I think Nintendo probably respected to be like, your game is so good on its own, you don't need our name. And this is all just a assumption. I think Nintendo recognized, and plus they was a new company, so Nintendo really hasn't worked with them or anything.
mhm.
I think if they come back and pitch it again, as they see the sales numbers, they see the fandom, they see a good potential of that game being done, definitely reviews. I think Nintendo would be like, you know what, let's rethink this. I'm like, yeah, maybe you guys could do a F-Zero game, but we're going to be having people on the team working with you, and you got to adjust. You got to follow our lead, because if you're going to do a big project for F-Zero, you need to get it right.
Right.
And then it's I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, look at Mercury Steam. Like, how did that even happen? I'm like, well,
Right, because the
Mercury.
game they made before Samus Returns was not great. That 2D Castlevania, nobody liked it. I think you
Yeah.
I think you're one of the only people that had anything positive to say about it.
Yeah, so they did, for people who don't know, they did Castlevania: The Lord of Shadow
Yeah,
game for the DS,
what
I
was it
believe.
called? Mirror of Fate, I think it was what it was
Mirror
called.
of Fate, yeah. And then they did the second Castlevania Lord of Shadow games for PlayStation 2, or was it PlayStation 3? It might have been
PlayStation.
PlayStation
It was 3 and Xbox
360.
360.
Yes.
Which they're on sale right now, by the way, for like $5 a piece.
Yes. And so Mercury Steam had an idea because of that. when Nintendo, when they went to presented this game for a Metroid, Nintendo was like, well, we could see, yeah, like you said, they weren't in a good spot, but they were just like, we have ideas, we know that we could do it, and don't forget, AM2R got taken down because Mercury Steam was working with Nintendo on remaking Metroid 2.
And that's
Samus
but
Returns.
that's the thing too is like Nintendo trusted them or wanted to see what they could do with a remake before they made their own game, right? And
Yes.
gosh, dude, Metroid Dread is one of the best games I think I've played on the Switch, and I hate the fact that I get lost. I wish I wish I was good enough at it to progress, first of all, but like just the way it's played, the way it's laid out, the boss fights were like the two that I've done were super cool.
Hmm.
It's like they did a really great job with Dread, like a really great job to the point where like I want to go back, and play the other Metroid games between one
Right.
and Dread.
And Nintendo has Mercury Steam Trust. They were like, okay, we could work with you guys on making a Metroid, and
I wouldn't be surprised if we got another 2D Metroid before
Prime
Prime
4.
4 comes out.
I it literally feels like the Metroid games now belong to Mercury Steam or Mercury System when it comes to 2D, and the Prime games need to stay with Retro. So I think Nintendo kind of realized we now have a formula for the Metroid series.
Yeah.
We don't all have to do it with us because these two companies know how to get this series in this genre right. We could focus on our other stuff. Now, Bane and Kados, yes, I won't say I need a sequel to those games. I would just like a re-release of them because those games literally got ignored. No one really knew that series or anything.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Nintendo published it.
Well, here's the thing. What I was talking about with Shane at one point was like, Bat and Kados is owned, like the publishing, like Nintendo owns the IP because it was owned by Monolith, but Bandai Namco owns the publishing rights to the first two games.
Mm-hmm.
And so if they were to ever re-release those, it's similar to Xenosaga, right? It's the same thing where
Yes.
technically like anything Xeno now I think Monolith owns, but Bandai Namco owns the rights to Xenosaga. And
Yes.
I know people want Xenogears on the Switch, but like Square owns the publishing rights to Xenogears, even
Yeah.
though like all these games are technically connected somehow, right? It's like,
Yes.
well, you got to go to the original publishers and stuff. And because remember that rumor, maybe 2 or 3 years ago that Nintendo was working with Bandai Namco to release a trilogy of Xenosaga.
Yeah.
And I don't really know why that fell through or if other things, maybe Nintendo just felt like they didn't need it or something, but like that was a rumor for a really long time and we talked about it.
Yeah.
And I think maybe it might be a similar thing to a lesser extent with Bat and Kados where like maybe if people showed interest they would work together to get it out, but yeah, I think it would be an interesting case to look at because this is where Monolith kind of started with Nintendo,
Mm-hmm.
and it would be interesting to see their history kind of come back in a way, or maybe they're just waiting. Maybe they're just waiting on Nintendo Switch Online GameCube.
Yeah, because I think people will play this game now that they know Monolith is soft. I think it was just that at that time, all the role playing games that was on PlayStation 2 was bigger than anything coming on to the GameCube.
Yeah.
So if it's just a timing thing.
Right.
I
mean, you think of the games like that first Bat and Kados game. You think of the big RPGs on PlayStation, right? It was it was Kingdom Hearts. It was Final Fantasy. It was
Dragon Quest 8.
Dragon Quest 8. It was Dark Cloud.
Mm-hmm.
PS2 was like the king. Obviously the PS1 was the king of JRPGs, but PS2 like continued that pretty strongly.
Dude, Rogue Galaxy from level 5.
Oh my gosh, dude! Rogue Galaxy is an awesome game.
So good.
I I wouldn't mind seeing like that was like I think that might have been the closest thing to a Skies of Arcadia sequel we were ever gonna get.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
but yeah, Rogue Galaxy is cool. Also, Star Ocean made a pretty big comeback at that time with 3 till the end of time. That was pretty big.
Yes.
So the Tales games were coming out at a brisk pace, I think, at that point too.
Right, because Tales of Symphonia did hit GameCube, but they said it also come out for PS2.
No, but there was I think Tales of the Abyss was on PS2, maybe.
I think so, yeah, because Tales of Symphonia HD came out to PS3.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember,
Yeah,
which is a really great game, and I think I wish that would come out to Switch. I would literally take a Switch port of that.
yeah. So,
So.
Yep. Anyways, there's that. I mean, Nintendo's been proving that man, I'm not gonna say it because we're gonna fall down a Switch rabbit hole, and I just
Yeah, we got other stuff to get to.
All right, here's the wrap up. Just a few quick stories here to fill you guys in on. This first one's really just for me. Nobody else really cares. I get it. But footage of a canceled Epic Mickey game starring Donald Duck has been discovered. In a recent video posted by YouTuber Slopes Game Room, shows footage of Mickey and Donald wandering a money vault a la Scrooge McDuck's bank vault, which makes sense as it was rumored back in the day that the third game would be centered around takes on the Disney afternoon cartoons such as DuckTales. The Epic Mickey video games were developed by Deus Ex creator Warren Spector and is now defunct studio Junction Point. The first game was released as a Wii exclusive on November 25th, 2010. I remember that because I went and bought it for my birthday for myself. And received both a spin-off for 3DS called Power of Illusion and a multi-platform sequel revolving around two-player co-op with Oswald the Lucky Rabbit called The Power of Two. Both of those games released on November 18th, 2012. There's still a rumor that an Epic Mickey collection will make its way to Switch and other platforms, though has lost traction over the past year. But that's still a pretty big rumor that I'm excited for. Man, what a promising game that the sequel just kind of killed the franchise, man. Epic Mickey was really fun, the first one.
It really was, and I know I would say this. I love the box art, and to see this game even being made and being Warren Spector's dream game, I'm just like, I have to get it on. I have to get it on Wii. Build up my collection. And then I just went and got the second one because I'm like, of course, doing that. But I would have loved this Donald Duck game. Yeah. I would have.
I mean, I think it was going to be like a Epic Mickey 3, but like Donald Duck was a playable character. Like you could kind of switch between the three of the characters, right? And all three of them would have special abilities. Because I remember that was the big thing with 2 was Oswald had different abilities than Mickey. So,
yes. And can I say one last thing? I love the name Epic Mickey. It's such a cool title.
I know, and Power of Illusion was such a cool tie into those old classic games, right? So cool. Sea of Stars, the RPG prequel to the hit indie game The Messenger, has officially been delayed to 2023. In a recent message on Twitter, Sabo Team stated, as we are closing in on a very big milestone, the road to launch becomes clearer, and we find ourselves here in a large body of text and our logos at the bottom. Keep in mind our two main priorities, quality of life for our team and quality of the finished game. We can now confirm that Sea of Stars will be released in 2023. We understand waiting is a big ask and want to sincerely thank our community for the overwhelming support and positive vibes. In the meantime, we are looking at the option to get a playable slice out to everyone this year. The game was end quote. The game was first revealed in 2020 via Kickstarter, evoking classic SNES titles like Chrono Trigger, Illusion of Gaia, Breath of Fire, and more. Their previous title, The Messenger, made its debut on Switch in 2018. It was a cool blend of Ninja Gaiden meets Metroidvania, using a time portal mechanic that jumped between an 8-bit and 16-bit inspired art style depending on what time period you were playing in. Sabo team also stated that they were looking at options on getting a playable slice of the game out this year, so maybe we will see a demo.
Yes. I, I will say this. I wasn't looking forward to Sea of Stars just yet. Not knocking it, saying I don't need it or anything, but it wasn't on my list of games to look forward to because of so much goodness that is coming out and everything. I think with me personally, I would have bought it day one. I may have played, probably would play it for a little bit and then just saved it to play other stuff. So it's not a knock against them. I'm glad that it's coming out in 2023 because the developers, they need time for their families and things and vacations, and then come back and make a better a better product than what they had initially planned.
Yeah. I'm definitely looking forward to this game. It looks great. But again, take all the time you need. I want it to be fun. I want it to be perfect. And I think this is going to be one of the bigger indie hits of next year for sure.
Yes.
Ubisoft is closing online support for its Wii U games on September 1st, 2022. Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, Watch Dogs Zombie U, and Rayman Legends are all the games that will be affected on the Wii U. The company has stated that it will be ending support for these games as well as other older games on other platforms to focus its resources on newer games for players who are enjoying more recent and popular titles. It also means that you will not be able to link these titles to your Ubisoft account after this time. This isn't surprising as companies end online support for older games all the time, and the Wii U's online functionality hasn't been relevant since the Switch launched in 2017.
And then I could say, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know Zombie U and Rayman Legends had online support, so.
Okay.
All right. The last part of the wrap-up, Ed, with even more proof that Joy-Con drift is ever existing on the Nintendo Switch, Nintendo has now opened a subscription service for repairing the hybrid controllers. A hybrid subscription service. In an article from Video Games Chronicle, the service is called Wide Care for Nintendo Switch, which covers all hardware and accessories made by Nintendo. Customers can claim up to 6 repairs per year on various products, even claims covering water and accidental damage. There are no current plans on the service expanding outside of Japan. So, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So, I was listening to Newswave talk about it, and so if in Japan, if you sign up, it's $1.50 per month, or if you want to go for a whole year, you can, which is only $15 for a whole year.
Yeah.
And it's a good deal and everything. So if you guys want to hear more about it, you go to Spawnwave and check out the Newswave recap on for Monday. He does a really great breakdown about it. But I think it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was like up to $738 that you could get in repairs with the 6 repairs. And they say if they can't, even with the system itself, the tablet part or the Switch itself, it was like if they can't fix it, they'll just send you a new one.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So. Anyways, that's it for the wrap up, Ed. Back to you for. I think dock mode, right, at this point?
Yes.
Neat.
Let's get into some dock modes, everybody.
Dock mode.
So it's time for dock mode. Yes. Corey and I have been playing Death's Door lately, and I have to say, it is such a top tier game. One thing that struck me as I was fighting some of the enemies was this. I really want life bars or some sort of HP tracker to know my progress with a boss. So for this episode of Dock Mode, how important are boss health bars to a player? What do you prefer? You ready, Elite Block? You ready, Elite Block agents? Let's go! So Corey, that is one of my big main complaints about Death's Door. When I'm fighting a boss or an enemy, and I know that they have it where you can see the cracks, but because of the camera sometimes being so far away, I don't know where my progress is at. I I think in action games or pretty much any game, I prefer to see a life bar for an enemy. I think it is something is reassuring me with the progress to let them know that if I get you two more hits, you out of here. What about you?
Um, I mean, it doesn't really bother me. I guess it depends on what kind of game it is and like what the point. I mean, I guess it would help. I don't know. I haven't really been thinking about it in Death's Door, to be honest with you. But it is very prominent in Ninja Turtles and uh, that those types of games. There's not. I don't think there's a health bar in Metroid Dread either on those bosses, and
It's not.
and that would really
Uh,
help. I think in
mhm.
that game it would help, but in terms of Death's Door, like I haven't really been thinking about it, which is strange because I really like to know how much time, like how much more I have left to do something.
Mhm.
Man, and now I'm gonna have to like look, and it's gonna bother me now. So thanks.
Well, I think the thing about it is that so in some games that uh when you're hurting a boss and they got damaged, they'll start to like maybe glow or they'll have appearance of that damage. And I think it's because of Death's Door that you are into the fight. You don't want the fight to be feeling like it's so long or anything. It yes, in the Legend of Zelda itself, you do not get no life bars. You get phases with some of them. And you could tell when you're in a new phase because like if you've been hitting them 3 times and they go and do something, when they get to the next phase they're going to still do what the first one is but then switch it up. And when you get to that final phase, it's so random you don't know what is going on, but you gotta realize that if you get a chance to get an opening you gotta be quick to get it and stuff. Nintendo likes to change up their boss fights and everything. Even with King Koopa and stuff. Like when you have the fireball effect in Super Mario Brothers, it takes about maybe 8 or 10 fireballs when you hit them. But you gotta do all that jumping and stuff. So you have the option of I could one hit him by jumping over him or running under him, cutting off the bridge so he could fall, or I could just sit there, make sure that I jump and dodge and hit King Koopa with fireballs and everything. I even when I play some of the games on PlayStation and Xbox, I think when it comes to a boss indicator of when they're going to die or how much damage I'm doing, an energy bar just makes sense to me. And maybe it's just because I grew up with some games that had it implemented in it.
Yeah, I just sorry, I'm just there's something else trending on Twitter, but I don't really want to talk about it. Uh, yeah, I mean bosses and but like so again, to me, it comes back to like what game you're playing. Because like I think of Super Mario 64, right? When you're
Hmm.
playing Super Mario 64 and you run behind the boss and you throw the boss 3 times and they're dead, right? Like that's the mechanic, right? And so I don't I don't I don't really mind how Death's Door does it because of you do see the cracks, and to me, like I'm playing on the TV. I'm playing this game on the TV, especially boss fights because of the Pro controller and how much better it is than the Joy Cons, right? And
Hmm.
so I see the cracks. I see like they start blinking a little bit, kind of like old school beat 'em ups. They kind of change. One of them changes their whole dynamic of how they fight you. So that gives is
Yes.
an obvious clue. So I think Death's Door does a good job of letting you know, hey, you know, you're halfway or close to being done because the boss is changing. Um, but again, like I wouldn't mind seeing health bars there. I think having that, okay, well, I have this much to go, but also like it's just something else for you to look at instead of concentrating on fighting the boss too.
Yes.
And like if there's too much going on screen, like Fire Emblem Warriors, for example, there is so much going on that screen, like in terms of a heads up display, like, you know, where you're going. The map is huge. Like it gives you a list of all the characters that are in your party. You know, there's just a lot going on. I'm like, man, I wish I could just clear some of this out. You know, I don't
Hmm.
care about the people in my party, to be honest. I don't need to see their health bars or their attack statuses or anything, right? Like there's a lot going on. I appreciate a nice clean kind of heads up display. And so, you know, I think I actually think maybe like a little health bar over their head might be something useful too,
Yes.
you know? And I know a lot of games do that. Uh like Assassin's Creed Odyssey does that, and that's a game that I really like, and they just have like little mini health bars above their heads, which helps. But, you know, I don't know. Health bars are just something else to look at, and it's helpful in certain situations, but I think it would be hurtful in different other situations. So I don't know.
Well, because I know, like in beat 'em ups, of course, there's going to be a health bar. In Bayonetta, there is a health bar and everything to show you, um, where you at in the progress in the fight when you're defeating an enemy. Definitely when they have like the double health bar that's colored, like you'll hit the enemy and they're white, and then it goes to like green or orange before they actually get to the yellow, and you start depleting that and everything. I think it's just that with a game with Death's Door, even some with the Soul games, it's just like, am I patient enough to deal with this boss, or am I at least, or I should say, I if I am I impatient with this boss because I can't see it and I want to get done with it, or is it that if I get to a certain part of a boss's energy and seeing it in on my screen, that I could plan for what their next plan of attack is going to be and everything. You know, just to let me know where my progress is at, because it it sucks when you are doing multiple things to get that energy bar down, especially when you feel like you're chipping that away, and they swipe you 2 or 3 times and you're dead, and you got to do all of that over and stuff.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I mean the way that Dark Souls does it is like there's just like a big health bar at the bottom of the screen, right?
Hmm.
And so that's easy enough to like glance down at or whatever, but also, you know, it's I know people want to like focus on the boss and not have to see how much they have left, and it kind of I don't know, it's different. It's just different per game. Obviously, you want a health bar in like a fighting game too, right? Because that's like, oh
Yes.
well, you know, I can see if I'm winning or losing or whatever. I think it's more useful in that competitive type of sense.
Yeah,
Um,
because definitely in a lot of RPGs, like I always try to scan enemies so I can find out what are the HP. So I know that, okay, there's 625 HP with my 3 characters. I got their weakness. Okay, let me start working to get this down. There are boss fights that there's certain boss fights in Final Fantasy X that I wish I knew their energy, because I'm like, how long is this boss fight going to be? Like, I
mhm.
do not like 30-minute boss fights
Yeah, in
at all.
JRPGs like that, like there should be a health bar, right? There should be
Mm.
something that indicates that. Um, so I don't. Yeah, I mean, I noticed that in Final Fantasy X too when I played it. Not 10-2, but 10 also. Uh,
Yeah,
I forget there's a 10-2. I would think everybody would like to forget that there's a 10-2. But
some
yeah, I
people
mean,
like it.
I mean, like that last boss fight is like, like if you don't level up
Oh,
correctly, it's like 40 minutes long, and there's no health bar.
yes.
It's just like the fight just ends randomly, and you're like, oh my gosh, what? Come on.
Now, me and you both play Destiny and Destiny 2. We both be in the main campaign. You're still playing this stuff. Getting those boss fights is kind of just like, you know, you're fighting the boss, but then everything else is thrown at you, and it sucks when you're trying to focus on the boss and you can't focus on them because you're dealing with everything else. And if you die, now this is just single player, not so much multiplayer. When you die, and this is one of those fights that be like, okay, there's no, if you come back, you got to start all of this all over in this fight.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
where when it's multiplayer, you can continue to fight until you get back there, and unless all players die, that's the only way that you got to restart that fight.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in a game like Destiny, though, like the like the health bar is almost like dumb in some cases because like it's really just telling you like, okay, this is you're fighting towards the next phase of the boss, right? And the only time it kind of really matters is if like you're raiding and you see like, oh, we gotta, if we like do the mechanics correctly and we're all on the same page and we all do everything on point, like this last kind of round we can commit and try to like, before his enrage phase comes in, like if we can commit, let's commit, and that'll send you into like a final type of thing. But yeah, I think health bars are like I said, I think health bars are great, but a lot of them are useful in some situations and some of them are just dumb in others. And actually Outriders does a great job of like the health bars in Outriders are pretty useful actually. They're above their heads, right? They're above the enemy's heads, and
Yeah.
like if it's red, obviously it's like a basic enemy. If there's like a yellow bar underneath them, that means they're like more of like a mini boss type character. So I actually like the way they do theirs a lot, and I think Borderlands is the same way, right? They have like the little bars or numbers that fly off their heads and stuff. And then I think the main bosses in Borderlands actually have a big health bar at the bottom. So
Yes, it does. Now something like Monster Hunter, of course that you're swinging and you're hitting at it, and then when it starts running away, it's one of those things that I'm like, okay, how much damage did I do, or did I break enough pieces off? And everything. And like I said, when you're doing single player, it's going to take longer because you're doing more work. You're attacking this one big giant monster, and you're trying to get them to hop and everything. Unless it does is like ultimate move. But when it's like multiplayer stuff and y'all whacking it to make it fall and everything, the damage doesn't even matter. It's just like everybody's doing their part to get it done and stuff. So I think I do agree with you. I think it depends on what genre or and what kind of game that you're playing and stuff. I just know for me that sometimes that if I feel not frustrated, but I feel like if I'm stuck on this boss for such a long time, give me some sort of an energy bar so I can know what the heck that if I'm finding it, if I'm making progress or not.
yeah.
I need some reassurance. Now, for Nintendo games, I think we kind of been trained to know that if they do 3 phases or we get off 3 to about 10 hits or something, we know that that's going to destroy the enemy. That's going to be the end of the boss. It's mostly the 3 hit kind of thing. Like if you hit them one time, you're good. If you hit them another time, they're good. If you hit them one more time for the 3rd time, you probably defeated the boss and won the level. and it kind of changes and stuff. Now, yes, you don't need a health bar for a sports game and stuff like there, because if you're using a quarterback for like Joe Montana, John Madden football on Super Nintendo, you're normally going to be just using that one quarterback, and their stamina levels are going to stay still unless you go like into a simulation thing where they
Yeah.
get tired.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't even pay attention about them getting tired. You just get them and go and everything.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't really have a lot more to say on health bars. I think again, I think they're useful. I think something like a sports game, you see more of like a stamina meter
Mm-hmm.
more than like a health bar. And then I know in like Madden, like the little tokens they use as the players, like they'll be green, yellow, orange, red, depending on how tired they
Yes.
are, and you can kind of choose when to sub them in and out and that kind of stuff. Obviously NBA Jam, you have your turbo meter, which is way cooler than anything.
Yes.
But that's just me.
And last but not least, you do need a health bar in the Mega Man game because you need to
Oh,
see which weapon works the best.
yeah.
It's
Yeah. Well,
with that. But that's gonna be it for Dark Mode. Not a big long
dark
one
mode.
because we kind of been going long and stuff. But I wanted to put that as a Dark Mode because I was just thinking about, man, this game needs a health bar so I can see where the heck, because it happens a lot in a lot of PlayStation 2's platforming games,
Mhm.
like Jack and Daxter. Knack has a problem with that. It's just like I need a health bar to know where the heck I am at in this fight, because I know if I die, I gotta redo all of it over and everything. And I understand the rinse repeat kind of gameplay style, but it gets tiresome after it's like the 15th time, and part of that time is not your fault at all. So, but Corey, we're gonna get into question block, and I'm gonna let you take over from here.
Okay. So yeah, question block. You can tweet at us at Powblock Podcast on Twitter, or email us at nintendopowblock@gmail.com. On Mondays, we usually put out a thread on Twitter, so you can reply to that as well. We have one question tonight for question block from our old friend Deshaun Malone. He says, what do y'all think of the 2022 second half of the 2022 lineup for Switch? Does Nintendo have anything else to announce? Do they need anything else? Congrats again on y'all's 300th episode. Thanks, Deshaun. I know we kind of talked a lot about it at the beginning of the episode. I think Nintendo right now has the strongest lineup of the big three, if you will. Including first and third party games, indie games. Xbox really doesn't have, anything major coming out. I mean, they have a lot coming out, right? I mean, but nothing like, Starfield was going to be their big game, and I think initially they expected it to be Redfall, Forza, Starfield this fall.
Yeah.
Like I think that's what they were expecting, to have like a 1, 2, 3 hit like last year, right? I mean, last year was Psychonauts 2, Forza Horizon, and Halo, right, to end the year.
Yes.
And so I think they were expecting that again this year, and obviously that got pushed to early next year. So I think, PlayStation has, The Last of Us Part 1 and God of War Ragnarok, which, will probably sell 10 million units each at least. But I still think Nintendo's audience is different from those games. So people who are picking up one of those games will probably pick up another Nintendo game. But like overall, I think Nintendo's lineup is stronger. I mean, you look at Nintendo and like the first party right now, it's Xenoblade this month, Splatoon in September, Mario Rabbids October, Pokemon November, and that rumored Metroid Prime. Like if you include that Metroid Prime remake in there, which is rumored for November, and maybe fit Bayonetta 3 somewhere in there, which I still think it's getting pushed to next year. But you fit Bayonetta 3 in there somewhere and Advance Wars in there somewhere, right? Oh
Yes.
my gosh, that's such a killer lineup. And then you add, Persona and Nier and uh, Live Alive in there, and a couple other things. Like, man, Nintendo's got a killer lineup.
Yeah. It's they. I think it's because right now they're strong because it's a default of them being strong, and it's a default because Xbox and Sony don't really have much to offer at this time with their consoles. With Nintendo showing this is the games that we have planned, people are planning where they're going to spend their money.
Oh, don't forget
whether
Super Bomberman R too.
Yeah, that is true. And so and people gonna be like, okay, I got indie games I could buy, third party and first party. I have stuff to look forward to for 2022. So by default they are strong. Nintendo right now don't have anything else to announce until after Breath of the Wild 2 comes out, or they give their name. Once they give the name of what they're going to be naming Breath of the Wild 2, that's when they're going to get more stuff out rolling, because we could probably get Metro Prime is on the line, Advance Wars on the line, but you know what, we still got the Mario Kart DLC that's coming out. We probably still got updates for Animal Crossing. We probably still got more stuff that Nintendo, that for games that's already out that they could update and announce. Now, for like pretty much new games, there's a possibility that we could get another Arms or Punch Out. Maybe they are working with Namco and we could see a Soul Calibur 2 HD for Switch, or we could see Pokken 2 with Bandai Namco. We could see a lot of games that Nintendo should be like, we're going to our partners to work with them to bring something out. There probably could be an Astral Chain 2 or anything, but all of that being announced and stuff, they're not ready to do that until next year. I think they are focused on, let's finish up the stuff that we got out now. Let's cut our commercials and let's be ready to roll this stuff out when we go into marketing mode. And right now they don't need anything else.
Yeah.
They don't need a new Switch announcement because they still got the OLED.
I would actually think it would actually hinder the Metroid Prime remake to come out this year.
Mm-hmm.
I know Nintendo. Yeah. I know Nintendo wants a proper first party game in November, right? I mean, yeah, Pokemon, but like, I think a lot of people forget that the Pokemon Company is the Pokemon Company and not part of Nintendo.
Right.
And so I think Nintendo wants a proper first party game in there, and I think shoving a Metroid Prime remake in there would kind of hurt its performance. Although I've been wrong the last couple times Nintendo's put a game out along with another game in the same month, and it turns out to sell like 5 million copies, right? So who knows? I think now if it comes out on Switch and it says Nintendo on the box, it's going to sell at least 2 million units, right? I mean,
yes.
I think they would be upset at 2 million units, to be honest. Like, Metroid Dread is the best-selling Metroid game ever, and it's sold 6.5 now.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I feel like if I was positioning games, Metroid Prime remake of the first one would be better in August when you don't have anything.
Right.
But
shoot, I'll take the NES Remix Collection 1 or 2 if need.
Plus, like, so the games that are rumored right now, there's kind of 5 major ones right now. The Metroid Prime remake of the first game, and according to that leak, the other 2 games are getting the HD treatment as well. Although I don't know if they're going to be full remakes or if they're just going to be HD remasters. That's yet to be seen. Although that game still looks amazing as is, so I mean, I wouldn't mind just having a remaster at this point.
Exactly.
So we have Metroid Prime 1. We have the Fire Emblem game that's rumored to be finished. We have the 2 Zelda games, the Wii U ports of Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, and the Donkey Kong game. Those are the 5 major titles that are rumored. I think, man, I don't know. I almost want to see, like, the thing that put a big wrench in my plan was putting Mario Rabbids in October. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that game was going to come out in like September, right? Early September. You have 2 games in September, right? You have Mario Rabbids and Splatoon, and then you have October wide open for something big like a Zelda or a Fire Emblem or the Donkey Kong or Metroid games, right?
Yes.
Like, but putting Mario Rabbids in October with all these other great games really just wrecks any potential. So, I mean, I guess if you put Metroid like that week before Black Friday, I guess would be fine.
Which means that that's probably why Breath of the Wild 2 got moved out into next year.
100%.
It's because I think they have all the bases covered to be like, you know what, we already got games ready and set.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, Unuma team, y'all go over there.
You better polish that up.
Yes.
Make it pretty. Make it run. I don't want any. Look, again, I played it a little bit this weekend, and as beautiful as that game is, if there's a lot of things going on in that game dips between 20 frames a second, and I would really like to see them clean that up. Like a lot.
I think now, because they only got the Zelda team only got to focus on one console.
Mm-hmm.
Monolith Soft knows the Switch. Look at Xenoblade 3. They know what they could do with the swirl.
Mm-hmm.
Grab y'all folks, go into that development room, and y'all get to work and polish the mess out of it. And
remember when Digital Foundry broke down the trailers, those trailers were running at 60 frames a second, and nobody understands how that game is running at 60 frames a second, considering how big this game is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Because, they're adding supposedly an underworld and an overworld and a time jumping thing, right? Like, those are the 3 major rumors. Obviously, we know the Skyworld exists because that trailer is clearly based off of Skyward Sword, right, where he's jumping out of the air. You see that's kind of the Sky Islands. The very first trailer, they were going underground, so there's an underground world. Yep. So, like, the last major piece is the time jumping aspect, if that exists in this game, and this game's going to be so big. This game's going to be massive.
Right. So it's really like right now Nintendo is at such a good spot. I think for a question like this, I would be like, I will ask the other companies, what do they want? What are their plans to have a strong holiday release?
Right.
What is Microsoft's lineup going to be, and does that look good? Because I think once again it's just like, yes, you got a lot of games coming to Game Pass, but I need those dates for those Game Pass dates. Mm-hmm. Sony, I need you to put more than just God of War out. I need to know, what do you have planned? Because is it going to be just third in indies making up your holiday? As big as Call of Duty is and big as NBA 2K is, I'm going to need to know more. And y'all probably will have Tokyo Game Show and Gamescom to speak on all of that. But right now, for like Nintendo, and for the Nintendo community and just gamers in general who plan on stuff to play on Nintendo console, everybody's literally straight. And now all it is just surprises if they want to bring it. And most of the surprises are going to come from indies.
Mm-hmm. Well, you also got to remember Overwatch 2 is coming, and it's free to play. You said NBA 2K, that's coming, right? I mean, that game comes out every year on Switch like clockwork as well, which is awesome. I almost bought 2K22 the other day because it was $10.
Oh, nice.
But I didn't. I held off because I think I'm going to get 23 because it's been a couple years since I bought it, and I've really been in the mood for a sports game. And Madden, I downloaded Madden on Xbox Series X the other day, and it is, man, I really want to like it, but it's not.
It's not popping. It's
So,
not hot.
but you have that. You have, like you said, there's probably going to be. I think there's going to be an indie showcase. I think August and September are going to be pretty big for indies, to be honest. I think we're going to see Silk Song and Tunic come out soon for Switch, because I think Tunic's coming to PlayStation in September, correct? So
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if on the same day it came to Switch, because that seems like a game that was.
I literally have a feeling Tunic is coming out next year.
We'll see. We know how great you are at predicting things. So waiting on Arms 2.
You know what?
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of major games coming. Persona is like a huge deal. Nier is a huge deal. Like it's just, I don't know. I think Nintendo has a killer year. I don't think they need to add anything else first party wise. Although I wouldn't say no, but I think they have a killer next 9 to 12 months, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If these rumors are true, if Fire Emblem and Donkey Kong are in the works, if that Metroid Prime remake is in the works, and the 2 Zelda ports come at some point, like, that's your next year. You think about it.
That's probably half of your first year.
Say Bayonetta and Advance Wars get pushed next year, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's your whole next year. You kick off the year with Bayonetta, right? Bayonetta in January, Advance Wars in February, Zelda in March. I would say maybe the Metroid Prime remake in May.
Do you think Prime 4 is good for October? Same way that Dread was?
Is not. No, if they're talking about remaking the first 3 games, Prime 4 is a 2024 game at the earliest.
You think it really got delayed even more?
Mm-hmm. I think they want that game to be perfect. I think they want it to be polished, and I think we get a 2D Metroid before we get Prime 4.
I would be shocked. I'm like,
that's my prediction, everybody. That is my prediction. By the way, uploaded an episode today that said, do we think Metroid Prime 4 will really come out in 2018? That is a real episode of Nintendo Power Block, everybody.
I wonder what did I say on the episode.
I think you said absolutely. I think we both agreed it was going to be their big game of 2018, actually.
Yeah.
Oh man, those episodes did not age well.
But you know what? I think it was because of we seen it, and it looked like we didn't at the time. We didn't know the developers, and we didn't know that it was having that much trouble,
right,
and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of felt like that in the scheme of things, since we didn't really know more of Nintendo's lineup.
Yeah,
that Prime 4 would be one to fill it out. So we kind of had a feeling that like they probably been working on this game to come out. But I think once they for some reason, I don't know. I think once they delayed it and Mercury Steam came in to do Metroid Dread, because I don't think it was, I think was 3DS still out yet?
Yeah, I mean 3DS. Yeah, Samus Return came out in that October, I think, for 3DS.
Okay, so that may have played a part in their plans for that to happen.
Mm-hmm. I think we're getting a 2D Metroid. Not this year, obviously, but I think I think before Metroid Prime 4 comes out, we're getting another 2D Metroid.
So I think we'll get another one. I feel like 25 we would get it, because they did say that even though this chapter of Samus' story has ended, they have plans on making another one to continue her story. So the next one, I feel like 2D would come out after Metroid Prime 4. But if they're delayed Metroid Prime 4 to 24, then yeah, I could see that happening. But man, Mercury Steam would have to be working quickly for that to happen, because you're gonna have to get that game out by at least the end of 23 or at the beginning of 24. Like, and it really has to be to the point where it's not just an easy remake, that this is a literally new chapter into it. Because once they showed off Metro Prime 4, if it's hitting the notes that it's supposed to hit, Prime 4 is going to be a big discussion among the Nintendo community.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I want to be excited for I mean, and it's a great time to be excited for Nintendo games right now, right? I mean, there's so many things announced. There's so many things coming out within the next, 6 to 9 months, and it's always exciting to look to the future. I kind of want to focus on the rest of the year first before we start next year, because it's extremely overwhelming to think about anything other than the rest of the year, right? Nintendo Life actually put up a great article today that said 30 games coming to Nintendo Switch this year, and one that's not. And obviously it's talking about Breath of the Wild, but like, I'm trying to find the article, but they listed 30 games for the rest of the year. Also, you got to remember, like, the Cuphead DLC is coming out, which is kind of like an entirely new game in and of itself.
Oh, it's out already.
Is it? Well,
yeah.
Okay. Well, I missed that, I guess. Not that I really care about Cuphead all that much. It's let's see. And Klonoa comes out this week, right? Live Alive. Also the Life is Strange remastered collection and True Colors still aren't out on Switch, which are both rumored to be coming out this year at some point.
Wait, what? True Colors is not on Switch yet?
I don't think so.
That can't.
It's on this list.
Are you? I thought that was already out.
No, it's on the list. Unless they're wrong or I'm wrong or.
I know the collection isn't out yet.
Yeah. No, I don't think True Colors is out. True Colors Switch.
I would be. I would literally be shocked.
I can't believe I'm signed into Nintendo.com and still asking me for my birthday. Come on.
Okay, True Colors is available because it's $59.99.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it's out. It just means it's available to pre-order.
No, you can buy
December 7th, 2001 or 2021. Okay, yeah, that's out already.
Yeah, I think the collection isn't out yet.
Then
1 and 2.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I misread. That's my fault. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry. Jerks.
I've been thinking about Road 96, but I think that's on Xbox 2 on sale.
But yeah, I mean, look, they put together a list. Like Metal Slug Tactics is coming out this year, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
Sonic Frontiers is another big game that's coming out this year that we keep forgetting to talk about because it's a 3D Sonic game and nobody really cares.
I do.
I know I do too, but I don't. I do and I don't. I'm just giving Sonic a hard time. I actually really like Sonic Mania and Sonic Origins. The Ninja Turtles collection is still coming out this year at some point. Like, I'm telling you, I'm just so overwhelmed by the amount of games that are coming out this year that it hurts my brain to look at this list.
Right.
Oh, by the way, speaking of games that are coming out this year, did you see the Atari 50 anniversary collection?
I heard about that, but did they give it a date or something?
It says sometime in Q4 2022. There's apparently 50 games ranging from classic Atari arcade games up through the Jaguar. So there's going to be Lynx and Jaguar games on this collection.
So meaning that I might end up getting it because there's a lot of games that
maybe we'll get Demolition Man.
Oh my goodness. We probably will.
Or I forget which one had the bad Predator game and which one had the good one, but maybe we'll get the Predator game.
See, Jaguar had the Predator game.
I think 3DO had the bad Predator game. Because I think
Yes.
Jaguar had that first Alien vs Predator game that everybody likes that played it,
Yeah, they
but
did.
nobody owned a
Yeah,
Jaguar, so hardly anybody played it. But the people
they
who
did.
had one, I had a Jaguar at some point. At one point, it was a
Well,
terrible console.
I had a
Oh my
TurboGrafx.
gosh,
I had a TurboGrafx 16.
it's
So
better than a
nothing.
Jaguar. I would have rather had a TurboGrafx than a Jaguar. By the
I mean,
way, anybody out there, if you have a Virtual Boy that you would like to get rid of, I will take it off your hands. Speaking of consoles, I just want a Virtual Boy. I had one and I got rid of it because I was poor and it was selling for like $150 and I needed to pay rent. um, and I really regret it because I had the box and that nice carrying case and like 6 games, which is like half the library. Oh man. Anyways, Deshaun, thank you for your question. I know we're just rambling now.
yeah.
But Ed, before we get out of here, I know like I teased you for saying this was like a new season of Power Block, but this kind of feels like a new starting point for us as a team, I guess. You know, I just wanted to say this before we got out of here. Like, I just uploading these older episodes just really reminded me how much fun we used to have doing the show, and we didn't care if we
Mhm.
talked for 45 minutes or 3 hours. And obviously tonight we talked for almost 3 hours, and it didn't
Hours.
even feel like 3 hours. And you know, I I really missed that aspect of podcasting in general.
Mhm.
You know, because I know we didn't really do like a like a memory lane type thing with 300 really. Uh, you know, and like I've been really literally reliving some of these episodes recently, and like I just miss when we would get together and just you and me and talk about Nintendo for 3 hours and not care if we got 1 or 100 listens at that time, you know. And uh, I just feel like this was a great start, or I guess a great start in the new slash old direction we used to
Mhm.
have. Um, and I look forward to doing more. You know, I mean, I miss Jacob dearly. He's moving and doing some other things that require his time, and I hope he comes back at some point. To join us and talk and stuff. And
Yes.
obviously, everybody else is kind of busy with the website, and Stephanie has joined us from time to time. But like, I am happy. Like, we're getting back to like the old style of episodes that we used to do, and not
Yes.
having, not having no. I don't want this to sound bad, and it's going to, and I'm sorry in advance, but like, we don't have to respect anybody's time or or whatever to make the show that we want to make, because it's just us now. And I know that sounds kind of selfish and whatnot, but um I don't know. I just felt like this was a really fun episode, and it was like really fun to kind of just zone out for a while and talk about Nintendo, because like you and me haven't really gotten to do it in a real way in a while.
Yes.
So that's all. That's all I had to say.
Well, everybody, you can find me on Twitter at that retro code. You can find me on Instagram also at the retro code. You can check out more Nintendo Power Block on your podcast of choice, or on our YouTube page on Wednesdays, or bossrush.net on Wednesdays. Um, and check out Expansion Pass. You can get that in advance if you become a Patreon subscriber. Just $1. That's all it takes. But if you want to support us more, a good old $5 Patreon support, will make you a producer and help us produce the show. Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me at I am Corey HD on Twitter and Instagram. You can also find me hosting the Boss Rush podcast here on the Boss Rush Network and Standard Definition. like Ed said, check out Expansion Pass. Check out the direct recap show. This feed is gonna start filling up with some fun things. I hope you stick around and listen. Stick around and hang out with us for a couple hours every Wednesday and on the weekends. And Ed, I love you.
I love you too, boss. And with that, everybody, have a great week. Have a great weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed this new season of Nintendo Power Block. And we will see you next time on Nintendo Power Block. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Goodbye.